Discretion is advised.
Happy Monday, you're listening and or watching Pwnecast. This is episode 130 and we are in patch 7.0.3 in Legion. Tonight we are going to be talking about patch 7.1, dropped sooner than everybody thought. Tom Chilton passing the reins for his title to someone else to work on a Blizzard project, ... and developer Q&A highlights and much, much more, so make sure you guys stay right here.
You have crossed into the world of the dead in search of answers.
Amongst the Azeroth elite, there is a group that defies convention. A group that stands in the face of trolls and doesn't flinch. A group that strives on unity, trust, and unwavering resolve. A group that eats tacos. For the players, by the players, we bring you. She can start a revolt with a Chaos Bolt, Bell, the Pwnecast Vanguard. The wolves whose howl can signal death's coming, Lycan. Snap back and get faster for the pet battle Grandmaster, Gemma Banks. He's sharp as a dagger with that dapper swagger, Secret Sauce. We bow to no one. We are Legion. We are Pwnecast.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that listen on iTunes or download it from pwnecast.tv, you miss some of the fuckery that happens on video when I have these guys muted and they're just kind of acting super crazy. But I guess I'm going to go ahead and unmute them because we kind of need them for the show because it's not Bellcast, guys. It's Pwnecast. But when I unmute them, it's just so bad. All right, I'm going to unmute them now. No rap? Nice. Okay. So.
Hello, everybody from the 313.
Welcome back. I did bring the Riders of Rohan with me. I did bring the Death Knight who went full outlaw this week, Lycan. What the fuck?
I could go back into singing Me So Horny, but
no, we're good. I'm okay. I'm good.
Yeah, I wanted. I don't know what it is. I tried starting a druid, didn't like it. Started a hunter, didn't like it. And I went back to the Outlaw Rogue. I had so much fun playing the Outlaw Rogue, and I'm starting to get my face beat in the underbelly by Outlaw Rogues today. So I decided to start them up. And
you got tired of getting your shit pushed in?
Yeah, pretty much. I learned real quick that I do not know how to rogue.
Yeah, rogue is it's tough to play when you are learning it, and it's tough to get.
That's why you leveled it.
Beat up.
I can stealth.
That's grand.
Yeah,
and you can
Did
use
you
your
level
sprint.
or boost?
I'm sorry?
Did you level or boost?
Oh, I leveled him. He's been there for a while. I leveled him on stream a while ago, and then got him all geared out through all the invasions. And then it's like everything with Legion. It's been just so much time spending with the DK and getting artifact power and doing the world quest and the mythic dungeon. There's just so much goddamn content that I've really not had a chance to really fully level an alt. So I tried the Outlaw Rogue. I haven't played him in a while and decided to open him up again.
Nice.
I'm on that boat too, man. I hate not having an alt.
Mm-hmm.
I did also bring the mage who's trying really, really hard to grow a beard. Hots for shots. Guys, give him some encouragement. Tweet
He's
to
trying
him.
grow some lighting.
Tweet to him at Hots for Shots and help him just stay strong, little Rue. Just keep on keeping on.
Little Rue, huh?
I mean, you should have saw me before I came back to the show. It was like, poof. But you couldn't really see it because I'm blonde haired.
But it's just, it's like dark.
It's not.
This is in spots where
it's like
it's
Spotify.
dark in spots. So
it's Joe Dirte, right? Is that?
Yeah,
is that
it's my natural, born and raised redneck.
You were gonna say
through.
inbred. I know that's what you were gonna
No,
say.
I was trying to think born and
it.
raised, but
I heard.
I
Yeah,
can judge you, man. No judgment.
Oh, I'm judging. Full judgment.
it's just been more of a lazy shave, not to shave.
Don't worry. When you hit puberty, it'll all come in.
I'm just waiting to be like you, where it all moves from here to here, and then we'll be all right.
I'll give you that one.
Oh my, that was a solid burn.
That was
a really good burn. Fuck. Hold on, I gotta recover from that. I did also bring the monk who finally got his pocket pet portal, right? That's what it is. It's not the other version.
Pocket Rocket.
It's not the.
There's only one version. The
No,
Pocket Pet Portal is unlocked. Gemma Banks has it.
Some
I was just waiting for like
listeners might
one.
beg to differ. There is another version of the.
Not
Pocket.
in the World of Warcraft world.
That we know
That's the
of.
one I unlocked. Yeah, that's true. There's probably another one.
It might be in the catacombs of Karazhan.
It might be in the
Maybe.
It might be
So I
in
can now
Jim's
learn
nightstand
more
drawer.
than
We don't
1,000
know.
companion pets. Yes, it was really good too because it was like all this excitement. Hots and I did a game of 2s or 3s, 1 because we're still undefeated, and then it was 2s because we couldn't find a third for 3s at the time. So I'm like, I'll beat this pet battle daily. Got my pocket pet portal, invited in Cash from the guild, went undefeated in 3s, and it was a good day for all.
How many games is undefeated? Because I feel like
It could be
All
only
of them.
2.
So when you're
All of-
undefeated, all of the games that you've played, you've never lost.
I'm not a fucking
are
retard.
you guys,
I
like,
know what
50
undefeated.
Oh, sorry. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying to help you out. Maybe someone else didn't know.
We do
Wow.
have Run and Wouter in the house. Like I am educated.
Okay, yeah, no, you are a smart lady.
I meant
so I guess
what does that mean? Like how many games undefeated? Because I could be undefeated by going in and doing 3 games and ooh, I'm
Can you
undefeated.
though?
Yeah.
Try, and I
mean-
agree. Some can accomplish
So how
this,
many
but
games are we talking? Like give
at
me a
least
ballpark.
one in every category, and then we won 1 game of 2s, Pocket Pet Portal, 1 game of 3s, and then we went and did 2 battlegrounds and won both of those. So not only are
So
we
essentially
undefeated,
4 games you were undefeated.
And
yeah,
last
that's
week-
still undefeated. Hey,
Well, so are the
It's at
fucking
the
beginning of
Cowboys.
the
They're
season.
4-1. Well, they're 4-1 now.
They've
but
lost
they were
as well.
they were at one point.
Did you just talk about something outside of WoW?
No, because
know.
I had this
We
argument.
don't talk about anything but WoW.
We got into this argument about he kept throwing
Feels
the
like
word
it's
around
something that's
undefeated, and I
Overwatch
was trying to explain to him that undefeated is a relative term. So like I could be undefeated by only playing 2 games, and oh, I'm awesome because I'm
if
undefeated.
you're doing that,
If you
so
wanna
I
get checked,
challenge
yeah.
you to play only 2 a week, 1 for each, and go undefeated as well. And just so you know,
I could play
Bell.
10 a week and not go undefeated.
the
maybe.
Cowboys lost in week 1 to the Giants, so they are 4-1, so they're not undefeated.
But
But,
they-
moving on,
But they still won 4 games.
that's pretty good. It's more than the
We've
Colts.
won 4 games but
Ooh.
haven't lost any, so we're better.
Well, at least you're here with
actually,
a lovely
I'm utterly
red
confused.
shirt. We have all the colors of the
Yes.
wind represented today. I feel like because Lycan's in orange, so that's pretty good.
Because he's gonna level a druid next.
Right.
No.
That nice orange color.
Orange, you glad I
And-
didn't
and
say
Jim is-
secret
Jim is
sauce?
gonna
Aren't
be-
you glad I didn't
Jim is
say
gonna be a
secret sauce?
DK.
Oh dear.
I
I
did-
actually have one, a Worgen one.
I did also bring the priest who leaped of faith himself back into raid leading this weekend. Secret sauce.
Yeah. It was fun. It was good. Super proud of both teams. One
That's what I
shot
was
the
gonna
entire
say.
place. So yeah, so we kind of got a Monday off. Everyone did a bunch of mythics today, so that was really good.
Yeah, we Riders 1 and 2. We did. I never thought we would ever have one raid team on a consistent basis, let alone there to be 2 very successful. I mean, it's only normals, but it's success for us, and I'm happy with that. So
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, I mean, everyone's learning, and that way we can progress in the heroics.
it was the first
so.
day of progression. Normally, we beat our head against the wall for a little while before we kind of get it down. So I think, I definitely think the skill level that we have is definitely better. So super
Right.
excited about that.
It's improved a whole lot, so super proud of everybody being on the
For
same
sure,
page.
For sure. And I pulled 200k on Xavius, if you can fucking believe that, with all the movement. I'm freaking stoked. Anyway, moving on, because it's not about my DPS, guys, because, I'm a warlock. It's just not about that. So, a little bit of a shocker this week. If you watch the Q&A, they did this, we got to make sure we ask. Not that shocker. That just made it weird. That just made it weird. That's so weird. Thank God some of you only listen and don't see what goes on here.
They know what
They
that
know
means.
now.
Ian Hazacustus did the developer Q&A, and at the end they were like, let's make sure we answer this question, as if it was like randomly selected, which it wasn't. It was a way for them to lead it, and the question was, when is patch 7.1 going to drop? Shock of the nation is we got told October 25th. Now, this is great, of course, because we want things, and that's lovely, and now we have a date. I feel like, though, I was talking to Jim.
I think it's too early.
Yeah, I was talking to Jim about it, and I'm just like, I just really feel like they blew their load a little early this time, and
Whoa.
the pun is definitely intended. I feel like they said, okay, we're gonna have more frequent content patches versus, trying to do an expansion every year, which is a smart line of thinking. I'll stay 2 years in one expansion if it's amazing, if they continuously drill out content.
If they put it the right way, but
We're not even, there's people who haven't even started raiding yet. We barely started raiding. Like, I understand there's people who go in and clear first
some
week
people
it's
haven't
out.
even unlocked Port of Stars.
That's
what
what
are
I'm
you
saying.
talking
It's
about?
so weird and it's bizarre that I'm going to go on faith here and pray that they've got X amount of patches lined up in an increment, but I do feel like they blew their load a little
Two
early.
more. Watch.
So how if there was? Sorry, go ahead, Hots.
I was gonna say it really depends. My opinion is really gonna depend on what they release with this new patch. If they're dropping the new raid with the tier gear and everything with it, along
The
with
raid
Karazhan,
the raid Trial of Valor is dropping November 8th, so it's a week after. 2 weeks,
Okay.
a week after.
yeah, it's.
I mean, that's still kind of early though.
Yeah,
It is
that's
really
that's
early.
still way too
Yeah,
early. I
it's-
mean,
2 weeks after.
What's the game been out for? A month?
No. So I just
Not
looked at the
even.
dates. It'll be 3 months. 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months.
October 30th.
Now,
That's,
three months should be right about the time you start prepping to drop the expansion or the patch, right? 3 months is
Right.
it's a good time. So by the time Trial of Valor out, it'll be 3 months. So I guess that's not as scary because Trial of Valor doesn't come out until November 8th. So
And those
I
will
don't know.
be
I
that'll have
think-
more gear, right? Like
I think
Yeah.
Karazhan should have came out like every season. Like there's 4 seasons in a year.
Yeah.
That would have made way more sense. But
I'm
that's-
just really
I don't
hoping.
work for Blizzard.
What was that?
I don't work for Blizzard, so
I think it's really scary because this is what they always do. Now, I'm the first one to always have faith. I've lobbied for the last 2 years with faith, but this is what they always do. People get on the forums and they complain that there's no content because they've gotten through everything in the first fucking week. That's not my problem. You sit at home all day
That's
and
your
game.
fault.
That's
Yeah.
not my problem. You're gobbling up this content. I still have stuff I have not done on my lock. Still, I can barely even find time to breathe with all the stuff that I need to get done on her on a daily basis. So I feel, but I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that means they've effectively storyboarded the entire expansion, and they've got it in increments throughout the whole expansion. If that's the case, and they've got, if this is the one, and then we'll have 3 months and then another, or whatever. If it continues until the next expansion, I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with you
Well,
giving
of
me
course not,
everything.
yeah.
They gave us everything, and then we sat 12 months with no content whatsoever.
Well, they did that 2 years in a row. So
Yeah.
But
two
or 2
expansions
expansions
in a row.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did.
But with the number drops and the way the subscriber count was at the end of Cataclysm to the end of Warlords of Draenor, I think they really did learn a lesson. And I'm hoping that's what they did now. If dropping the patch now, only 2 months after the expansion drops, saying here's more content they're putting out, you're right. It either scares me because they're going to go through it too fast, or it gives me hope that there's going to be so much content
That they
in this
have to
in this
do it
expansion.
this quick,
Right.
which makes sense, actually.
Right. And nobody wants, and it's all, this whole patch or this whole expansion has been so story driven. I mean, you have the artifact weapons and the
Well,
lore that's behind it.
It's endgame
Karazhan-
story driven.
Yeah, and Karazhan's the next step in this whole trip that we've been taking through Legion.
Which
Can I
go ahead.
go ahead? I was gonna say, can I put my tinfoil hat on and say
You have a tinfoil hat. What the?
Yeah, put your
I don't even know
what
what that
fresh
means.
fuckery is this?
I've been hanging out with Lycan. I don't know. I wanted one. He looks nice, but it's gonna be the same, guys. I don't want to be a downer. I personally feel like there's gonna be a gap at the end of the
I
expansion
think they
where
can't, though. I think they realize they can't survive it again. I don't think they
They-
can survive it again.
They probably thought that after
I don't know that
after
I
this.
would, as an individual and a podcaster, be able to survive it again. To be perfectly honest,
well,
Oh,
I
there's
think
no
we
way in
will
hell I would.
survive it. Like we would, Pwnecast would.
I would because that's how I'm built. But I
Right.
gotta tell you,
It's
it would
gonna
be
make it
one,
harder.
Yeah, and it would be one of those things where it would be a serious. Okay, now you have to figure out where. I'm gonna just go on faith, and I'm gonna say that there's so much going on that there's a reason for it, and now we're gonna loop into the reason why there's a possibility for it with this next story, which is gonna tie both together. Tom
reason-
Chilton, who is the game director, has passed the reins on to Ian Hazakostas. In his statement for why he is leaving, he's not leaving Blizzard. He's leaving to work on a new Blizzard project. Now, the thing that's interesting to me is when you, more than anything else, not even just Warcraft, when you think about Chris Metzen, when you think about the back-end stuff when it comes to World of Warcraft, Tom Chilton is initially your response there because he's been the guy. He's been the guy for X amount of years who's been driving our content, pushing these teams into whatever direction. Now, there's been theories because Tom has been World of Warcraft that he's because he said Blizzard project. I don't really think we're going to expect another game, right? They've hit every single element with all the games that Blizzard has. I don't foresee another different type or genre of game probably for a while, because they're still riding the coattails of Overwatch. They're still pushing new Hearthstone content. We're pretty sure Diablo's going to get a new announcement, since there was a slight fuck up at the store and they didn't call it Diablo 3 shirt. They called it just Diablo. People notice, Blizzard. When you do little tiny things, Blizzard, we notice. We get you. So this begs the question, with Tom Chilton going to a Blizzard project, is it World of Warcraft related in nature, as far as possibly building World of Warcraft on a new engine, because they know that it's near the time when they're going to need to move WoW onto a new gaming engine if they're going to continuously compete
The Unreal
with these
Engine.
with these other MMOs. They need to be able to compete on a high level. So is it possible that the content patch, which is not seemingly related, or is it because they have another thing that's happening, so that they're giving us content while they're doing this other thing? Right? Like, that's my thought process behind it, and I wanted to know what you guys think, because Tom Chilton was WoW, I don't see him giving up his game director title for some random Blizzard shit. This is something that's going to be epic because of the amount of time that Tom has put in here, not to mention his pay grade. His pay grade is for epic. That's what he's the game director. So with all that kind of playing into it, and we also know that endgame content, this is the story that we're being told, is endgame for what we've been living for the last couple of years with World of Warcraft. So it begs the question, where are we going with this? What is happening? Is it possible we are getting maybe they're building it on a new engine? Maybe, what is the possibility that could be happening here in that regard?
I was joking around with a couple guildies, actually, and was saying that the reason they're taking Tom Chilton off of WoW is because he keeps letting all the stuff slip out, like the 10.2 million subscribers he wasn't supposed to, and
Oopsie.
what do you do for Warlords? Yeah, Warlords, he said, Grommash Hellscream is going to be the final boss, and they had to go back and change all that. But on a serious note, I really think that they have to do something with the graphics. The graphics are nice, don't get me wrong. They've really done some big upgrades.
We're behind where other games are not.
Right, it's very cartoonish. And if you compare that to games like Skyrim and other games of that nature,
I don't want them to change that. I like that element.
I do too, but there is a lot of people saying, they're redoing. They redid Elwyn Forest on the one engine. It was gorgeous.
It was gorgeous. So, I won't lie.
Right. So there's a lot of work they're doing behind the scenes there. As for content or what it could be, I mean, it might be a WoW 2 or some version of that. Because I was just talking to somebody the other day. I said, can you imagine starting off a brand new character, going from 1 to what would be 120 for the next expansion?
I do
That's
think
one
it's
hell of a
possible
grind.
that it's a whole game revamp as far as story and content is concerned, and new things. I do feel that they would have to, because realistically, how many times can you tell the same story on the same world, right? At some point, there has to be some type of end happening there. What better time than to pull that bullet or shoot that bullet and just, let's pull the Band-Aid now, let's put our heavy hitters on there, which Tom is no small potatoes. I mean, this guy is the reason World of Warcraft is what it is on the back end.
He's not some fingerlings?
No, he's not some schmuck that they just plucked out of the new hire packet. I mean, he knows what he's doing. I don't see them pulling him for another Blizzard project that isn't WoW related, is really, I guess, kind of my thought process behind it.
In the writing's on the wall. It's been 2 months since the expansion has dropped, so I can kind of put out some of these spoilers. But when you do the scenario where you go back to the Exeter, and you're out there fighting, you're fighting along, and you end up killing, I forget what the name of that demon, Rakesh or something like that. You kill him, Velen comes up and basically says, fuck this shit, we're out of here, and said, we're going home. That means we're going to Argus.
I agree. I agree that something big is in the works. And here's the thing. People are going to comment, and they're going to be like, you guys are being paranoid. You're always looking for conspiracy. Here's the funny thing. Even when we're always looking for conspiracy, fuck if we don't find it, because we found it every single time. Anytime we have looked, even this expansion, remember the Reddit post. 2 years ago, there was a Reddit post that this exact expansion was explained, minus some differences, but the whole of this expansion was leaked on Reddit. So knowing the forethought that they plan not just a year in advance, these guys know they have a business model, guys, and their business model drives them for their content. Where do we see ourselves? Where's the story of WoW going in 5 years?
Well, yeah, but they have a storyboard designed for X amount of years too. They
For
know where
sure.
they're going to go, and then they have different avenues of where, like, okay, let's go. After here, they have probably like 2 other options of where to take it. So
Broken
I
Isles
mean,
is basically wrapping up the story that we've been going through for the last couple of years. So I think it stands to reason that we could possibly be seeing. I'm not saying new game, but new story, new face, new perspective,
New everything.
new everything. Hots, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm stuck between 2 different options. I don't think they're gonna make a WoW 2 because of what I was saying last week. How I have what 12, 11 years into this one account, and they're gonna be like, all right, we're making a new game, and I can't bring anything from my new account.
Oh no, I
Never
don't think
say
that.
never.
No, I don't think that.
I think Blizzard will make if I'm not saying they will make a game. Sorry to interrupt, but I feel that they would cater to us and make the companion pets and the mounts that we farmed in some way.
Of
Maybe
course,
not
yeah.
everything.
I think
but
it
I don't
would
think
just
they'll
be a
say forget about what's
transition.
happened.
I think
Yes.
they'll take everything we have
Yeah.
and transition. I don't
That's
see them
the
saying, "Hey, fuck you," and all this work you've put in. I think it would be a
Mm-hmm.
transition if it were to be like a new engine per se. I don't
Yeah,
think.
I mean, that's a good possibility, but I mean, there's the possibility is still there that they could.
Yeah, I mean, look at. I mean, I hate to bring up another MMO, but like Final Fantasy 11 and 14,
Yeah,
like
but
totally different games.
Blizzard's proven that
Yeah.
they're not about that life, though. They cater to their players. It just is. I don't see that.
Yeah. But another thing is, last year at BlizzCon, they were saying we expect for WoW to be around for another 20 years.
Mhm.
So
It's not going away.
They
But
have to
who's-
I
do
don't,
something,
I don't
right?
think it would be a WoW 2. I think
Well,
they might.
I think it
drop-
would be WoW built on a new engine with a brand new world being introduced.
Yeah.
Like they'll end it in Legion with some type of whatever end game. Because the reality is the story we're getting, they're wrapping up things. We're wrapping up the stories that we've been told since the beginning. So I don't necessarily think it would be like a new WoW, like a WoW 2. I don't think it's a WoW 2. I think new engine and whole new world, if I may quote the good Pocahontas. Oh no, that's not Pocahontas. That's
That's
fucking
Aladdin.
Jasmine.
I
and
got my
Aladdin.
Disney movies mixed up. Damn
Fuck.
it is
Fail.
Jasmine.
And you have kids.
I was gonna say the princess, but I fucked up.
But
Throw up the L.
But here's the thing, Hot. What I'm concerned about, though, and like she's saying it Belle saying with the story, every expansion is the same thing. Sargeras gets pissed. He sends an underling. We kill the underling. He moves on. Sargeras gets pissed. He sends an underling, and it's been the same exact story with every single expansion. And there's nothing wrong with that because the story works.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love
You know.
Let's
And-
just
and
fight
it-
an old god already.
Legion is
Get it over
recycled
with.
story, and I don't mind because of the twist and what they brought to it. So I totally don't
Right.
mind. But there's only so many times you could beat the dead horse. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's kick Sargeras' ass.
I mean, we're wrapping everything. I mean, every single major boss
end
of
is-
every expansion has been in this expansion. We've
Yeah.
seen the Lich King. We've seen
This is
Deathwing.
end
We've
of
seen
days.
Illidan.
End of days type of shit.
Right.
Arma motherfucking Geddon is happening, and it's upon us, and it's at our doorstep.
well,
About to have zombies
supposedly
boosted.
the in-game fight or not fight, but the in-game lore for Legion has already been leaked, or found out.
I bet you we don't even know what the final raid is. Just because they tell us that's the final raid, this fucking means shit. I don't think
Well,
we know half of what we think we know because of the way
it's-
that they did beta this time. There was cinematics. We don't get to, there was a lot of shit we weren't privy to.
We were
Yeah.
told
Stormwind.
Rodan was going to be the final boss.
Nobody knew anything
Well, I also
about
think for beta,
Karazhan.
it could be them finalizing all that as well.
Well, that just because we're fighting Gul'dan at the end of whatever doesn't mean that we're
Nighthold
necessarily
or
going to
whatever.
kill him. Yeah.
Oh, we
Doesn't-
have to.
We've killed him 20
he can't get
times.
out of
Can you
it.
be fucking dead? D dead. Can you die?
Yeah.
Hello? Hello.
I mean, that's just gonna be like we'll have to see where it's coming from.
But I do feel I feel new engine is coming. I do
I
feel
could-
like new engine is coming.
I'm
I
not
feel like
gonna
they
say
need
WoW
to.
engine.
They
not
need
gonna say-
to.
WoW's
And
engine is like a horse-strung
No,
and
it's
or
not.
something, but
To
Right.
compete with
Pretty
all
bad.
these other MMOs, like even Terra, for example. What do I call Terra? I call Terra WoW on steroids as far as visuals are concerned, right? We don't like to talk about other MMOs, but sometimes you have to in order to be able to give
Yeah, I mean
context.
comparison. Yeah.
But I've talked about that for a really long time in that regard. Also, the guild thing. Now, I know this isn't going to seem like it's much to anybody, but we've been lobbying for years to get things for the guilds, for them to put into the guilds, and they consistently refuse. Why? If I'm going to be building a brand new engine where I have better capabilities to be able to manage these guild things, I would continuously put off the players too and just say, well, their standard thing is, well, there's a lot of things to deal with. Motherfucker, I'm a web developer. I understand what you're talking about when you're talking about how difficult things are. But I feel like that there's things that they've been putting off because they're waiting for a bigger avenue to be able to build the base on.
And
Let's be able to build it from the ground up.
Agreed.
Let's really start with the conspiracy here. Who better to move over to build a new engine and have the final say-so on what these things would look like than Tom Chilton?
And Tom Chilton, the man.
And then with what's his name that left last week? We found out the guy that just retired last week.
Craig Amani?
No, the big guy.
Metzen?
Bro, Metzen.
How
Chris
did
Metzen.
you not know his name?
I don't know. I drew a blank there.
Oh my!
All right,
He pulled his hair out on that one.
and then think about this: Chris Metzen just left. This man has been nothing but WoW since day one. What if?
Nah, he had a rock and
What
roll
if,
routine.
though, it was like, okay, it's starting to wrap up. He's done his job. He did a great job, and we're moving to the
He
new
made
end.
millions of dollars on the movie because he was a producer. Let's be honest.
I
Let's
agree.
finally
I
breathe and
agree.
be real. He deserved his break, and the guy is a fucking millionaire because he made money
Oh,
off
yeah.
the movie. I would retire and go home to my family
not mad
too.
at him.
He
I'd have
deserved
left
it.
you.
I ain't mad about it. Can I get a steak? Seriously,
He wa-
like.
He was probably
There you
there
go.
with
There you go.
not
But
able to eat
you are
because
right.
of things, but
They're probably because if the theories are correct and they're stepping into a new future, it would make sense that you go out with the old. And no offense, Metzen, we love you. I don't ever want you to
Right.
go anywhere. But yes, new life, as it were. I did originally think Tom was going to take over Metzen's position, but I think Tom is too hands-on with the game. I don't see him. I don't know. I think if he were to step into that position, it would have to be, well, but I still get to do these things with, the game. I don't know. I don't know him personally, but from what you could really feel a person when you're watching how they talk about the game that you love. He really loves what he's doing when it comes to Warcraft. So maybe maybe it's the new movie they're pulling. I mean, I don't know, but I do.
Could be a number of things.
I do feel
yeah.
I feel a
There's
new
a bunch of
engine is
avenues
upon
they could go
us.
down.
I feel a new engine is upon us, and I feel that we're going to see the next expansion be not just a new expansion, but a new game in the sense of visuals and story and maps. Perhaps we'll finally leave Azeroth to go see what's out there. Maybe the Titans will finally boot us off the planet. I don't fucking know.
You guys know there's going to
Azeroth,
be.
Titan.
I don't want to be negative, but you guys know there's going to be a drought between content. Like, Blizzard wants you to play all the other games. There's going to be a long time in one of those raids where you're going to want new content.
I don't
And
think so. They suffered too much of a loss in Warlords of Draenor. The loss was
Right.
too great.
Well, we seem to be doing okay right now.
We
in
are
Legion.
because of their other games.
Okay.
I'm saying, like, the loss was
just-
too great, though. People would leave
Yeah.
in Legion just like they did with Warlords. We've
Yeah, of
never
course they would. To play
suffered
what?
the way we suffered
What
in
do you think they'll
Warlords
play?
numbers. They've never suffered like that. They have to answer to shareholders. They are businessmen at the
Of
end of the
course.
day.
But if you think that there's not going to be a long drought in between, I've been observing WoW players and playing the expansion. It happens every expansion, guys. Blizzard wants you to play the other games. WoW people, WoW players like us, we love the game and we want to stay in it. There's going to be a drought. I'm not saying a year drought. Maybe they've learned their lesson, but 100% there's going to be a drought where they're promoting
I think
the
there
new
always
Diablo.
has to be a month
Of
or
course.
two in between, but a full year, I can't see them allowing that again. You don't understand the money they lost. They lost a lot
I
of
know.
money. I mean,
And
more
they
money
made
than
it
they
in
ever
the other
lost
games.
ever. Record money
How'd
losses.
Overwatch sell? Did it sell okay?
But see,
Oh, yeah.
but the thing about that is it doesn't offset the price and the money that it costs for their team. Because even if they make money with one game and that's still money going in, you have to understand they have full teams on payroll that are
course.
salary guys that are
course.
the payroll's not really that high for Blizzard.
But
we
they're
all know
also
that, though.
developing the new things, and we as WoW players, when they give us a new mount or something new shiny to log into during those droughts, we take it for granted. You're right; it's just a new shiny thing for us to log in and get, or a new title. But those things are developed, and they're working on the next best thing that you guys were just brainstorming about. That's still going on, but there's always, again, so you kind of have to look at it. You don't have to, and no one will accept this. A lot of players won't accept this. Sometimes you got to think like you're buying a $60, $80 game and you're experiencing the content. And yes, it shouldn't be over after a year because we love WoW and it should be ongoing. But there's always going to be a drought to promote us, to drive us to Overwatch, to drive us to Diablo, staying within the Blizzard world. And WoW's not going to give up what they're doing.
No.
They're going to keep
And-
going.
I don't think we'll see a
And-
year without content, though.
I don't think a year, and I think you're right though, because if you look at when we're dropping for 7.1, we're dropping at what? Right before BlizzCon.
Less
So
than
we're going to
2
have
months.
that right at less than 2 weeks.
Coming
Right
into the
af-
expansion, excuse
Yeah.
me. Yeah, go ahead.
right after BlizzCon is when the mini raids will open up for the Valor ones. So now from there, I don't foresee us actually having another patch until January. Only because they're going to make, we're going to get big announcement for Diablo. Everybody keeps calling it. We're going to get an announcement probably for Heroes of the Storm and new guys. We're going to get announcements for possibly a new thing for Hearthstone. So all these things. They just dropped
their patch with Hearthstone, that big expansion. I think we'll see minimal things.
But still, we're looking at all these different things that are going to be coming out after BlizzCon. So you're right. They will put a lull in the patch drops right away. But I don't see it as, I wouldn't call it a drought. Because they do want us to play the other games, because Blizzard's all about making sure, and they cross-reference all their games. I'm buying StarCraft just to get certain things from StarCraft in WoW. I bought Overwatch for the baby ape.
Baby Winston.
I bought it as well for the ape, and I don't even play Overwatch.
We don't play it. You were ridiculing your people for going to play it.
No,
you know what I mean?
I was not ridiculing.
excuse me. You were
I got tired of hearing how awesome Overwatch was and how shitty WoW was, and then guess what, fuckers? You're all back playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah. Right, but you and I don't play Overwatch at all. We both bought a copy. We did. Go ahead, Lycan. Sorry, we don't even.
No, I totally did. And the only thing I don't buy is Hearthstone expansions, but
right.
Here's the Storm I bought. And it has cross references in there as well.
How much did that free game cost you?
I spent about $200 in it.
I spent a lot of time.
I spent money too. To
get grapes.
Right.
So they like that cross references, because as you start crossing them, the microtransactions kick in from Heroes of the Storm. They kick in from Hearthstone. They kick in from Overwatch. But their workhorse has always been and will always be World of Warcraft.
Right.
So I don't. As
it's
they
recurring
have
money.
jumped,
The individual sales are great, but it's not consistent. It's not real money. You can't cash that check every month with the same consistent dollar amount. Board, when you answer to a board of directors, you answer for your money, and that's always been the case.
Dropping their 10 million subscribers again and making $150 million a month. Yeah, they know they screwed up. They've got them back on the right track, and they're not going to mess it up.
So probably a small. I mean, I think that's always. I don't mind going time without content. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with killing the same boss for a year. I have a problem with that. I have a huge fuck you.
And I wasn't encouraging that. I hope.
Yeah, don't help them if they listen to the show.
Trust me, I'm not. Well, I mean, the good news is, even like you said, it'd be harder to do a show. Rain or shine, we'll be here for Warcraft. We're all Warcraft players, whether we play other games or not, and we'll find something great in the game if there is a gap. Let's just hope the gap isn't a year, like you guys were saying.
It'd be really sad. What a good conversation. I knew that this was going to be a good conversation topic. So many theories, and a lot of people are going to comment very negatively, and they're going to be like, "You guys are all retarded," because anytime you have
they should.
They're all wrong.
Well, not that.
Anytime you have an opinion, but I got to tell you that we're not wrong very often. When I say we, I don't even mean us. I mean the masses. The masses are usually pretty good about being able to predict. Now, Blizzard likes to pretend like we're not right because they don't like it when we are able to catch it.
Yeah.
But for fuck's sake, somebody within 5 minutes of the gear store being open sent me a private message and was like, "Hey, the shirt says Diablo. It doesn't say Diablo 3. Does this mean?" Interesting. What does this mean? So we're
Bells
investigators.
on the horns right now.
But we're investigators. That's what we're gamers, guys. We're fucking puzzle solvers. Hello, have you ever played Resident Evil? The amount of puzzles in that game is fucking ridiculous.
Some of us are doing.
Excuse me, have you ever played Zelda, where that game is nothing but?
Right. Agreed. So with that being said, I'm excited to see what Tom's doing. I'm also super excited that Ian is taking over Tom's spot.
Yes.
Who better to do it than Ian? Now, the only thing that I think sets Ian apart from others is his honesty. He's brutally honest, and I appreciate that. I don't want you to blow smoke up my ass. I want you to tell me for real. That one day when he said, "We don't want you to play Demonology right now," I literally was like, I want to shake your fucking hand, because that just made me respect you. You literally told me exactly how you felt. If there was more honesty from the developers, there wouldn't be so much bitching on the forums, because... don't tell me my food's good if it ain't, man. You're going to keep eating the same fucking shitty meal if you tell me my food's good.
And you're right. His honesty, like if you watch it, going back to the Q&A, he started talking about Mythic Emerald Nightmare. He goes, "Yeah, we messed up. Should have been a little bit tougher. We messed up. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and move forward. We'll do it better next time." Mm-hmm. And everybody went, wow. He acknowledged that they really messed something up. And that is something that, even though Blizzard does listen, they usually don't come out and say, "We messed up."
It took Holinka an entire year to admit Ashran was a fail, okay? Just throwing that out there. whole year to finally admit it. So
Players
you're right.
know they don't like being lied to or told. Like
No,
you said,
tell
if your
me.
meal's crappy, it's a crappy meal.
Tell me and I'll ride the storm with you. I'm in it, right? I sub every month. I am here. I'm riding this lightning bolt with you. If it sucks, I'm going to be here with you. I don't know for how long, but just be honest with me and we could do this. It's like a marriage, right? When you sub, it's a marriage between you and I. Be honest about the money you spend, and I won't be mad when I look in the bank account and realize that we don't have that money.
Okay.
I would say it's more like a hooker.
No,
Paying-
How
because
so, Hots? Let him explain. Let's let him explain
this one.
I mean, I'm not gonna pay my wife $15 a month to let me play with her, but I would say, I'm playing. I need something to do aside from my wife, so I'm paying $15 a month, and I get a little bit
Tell us
extra.
again how great of a husband you're going to be with that thought process, because
An amazing husband.
that's why you're single.
I'm so good. I haven't
Judge
even
someone in
found.
game how they'd be a real husband. Him as a virtual husband is very sleazy, and he wants what he wants. Okay.
Yeah,
All right?
exactly.
All bad.
So
But
Mel and I are married, and since my Mrs. Lycan doesn't get home for another 20 minutes here, so I can say this now, you do have to pay your wife in order to play with her to keep her happy.
It's true.
Like buy Bell Electronics.
Have you
when Dark
seen
does
all
that,
of my
we're
stuff?
good.
He gets left the fuck alone. You want to watch football, honey? Go ahead. He bought me a new mic. You want to watch football, honey? Go ahead. He bought me more RAM for Bertha. It is a pay-for-play type of situation. 150% happy wife, happy life. You will pay her to be happy. It might not be monetary, like handing over cash, but you will pay. I promise. There is a cost.
There's a lot of husbands listening right now, and they're broke in game.
Sometimes the cost is not great, but to that end though, it is on the woman's side too. If the woman happens to be the gamer, and even though the husband may or may not be, but I am domestic several times a week where I make sure that I make a meal instead of them just grabbing whatever or the husband going to get pizza. And whenever people tell me, where are you? I say, I'm being domestic, because if I'm domestic a couple times a week, they don't yell at me for being on the computer and gaming. It's a back and forth. So pay for play is...
Is that like giving your lady a back rub every once in a while because you really don't want to do it?
I'm the kind of guy that'll be like, hey, I made you a popsicle stick house.
Although Hots for Shots is going to make a very good husband because he makes good sandwiches. That's no lie. I miss him living here, and sometimes when it's really late and I'm hungry, I'll look at my husband and I'll be like, I miss his sandwiches. Because he would make him one and I wouldn't even ask. He would just bring an extra one up here. So I do.
So Dark rolls his eyes and has to go make a sandwich in place of
100%. 100%.
You used a slave name.
Oh, yeah, now we...
You were so good there for a while, Jim.
So with that, Ian is taking over, and I think we're in really good hands, guys.
We are. We
are actually transitioning into all the news really, really well. You can read the Tom Chilton's message on him moving into another position over at Blizzard on the PDQ. We did cover that as well. So let's talk about the Q&A talking about Ian. So I did watch it live, which we got to break the news of when the patch was launching relatively quickly because I was fucking fast with my thumbs, and I was watching it while I was supposed to be working. Hopefully,
sounds like you.
Hopefully nobody from work is watching this, but I did watch it, and I love you, Ian, so much, and I'm going to meet you soon. I met you last time briefly. You were kind of grumpy, but if you could just sit still and not do this whole, like he does this this whole time he's just doing this, and I'm just like, if I was Lore, I'd be like, can you just stop, freeze right there. Just don't move. And I love it because he's super animated, and you can tell at their company meetings that he's probably the guy pacing while he's talking about what they're doing. I'm super animated, but I managed to bubble it into this area. But moving on.
He's probably watching this. He's like, why do you roll your eyes when you look?
I know. So they did talk about balancing. Once again, this is the beast we're always going to be working with, guys, but they did talk about they are continuously looking at underperforming classes. To that end, I think they've done a really, really good job. They recently released a PvP set of hotfixes that kind of rounded out, took a little bit of overpowered damage away and kind of rounded out some things in a PvP setting, and I think that's good. And then even with the PvE, they're starting to those that are at the bottom as far as the DPS is concerned, and some of their weaknesses, they're kind of looking at that and bringing it up a little bit for a little bit more balance. So the underperforming classes they are working on. He did say that they're happy with overall with the direction they're going. So more tweaks will be coming for 7.1 as far as balancing is concerned. So that's good. They also talked about Hunter Barrage, which I said this to my guild yesterday and nobody believed me. So he did directly address the hunter barrage as far as
It's awful.
pulling seagulls from the sky and no real line of sight of where you're pulling. It's like the druid Starfall, where it's like you're with a druid and they're like, I'm starfalling, and you're like, no, and they're like, I already did, and
Hots.
boom, you're dead.
Yeah.
So they are going to take a look at it. They like the way that it works because they like that element of fuck, the hunter just barraged everything. I think Blizzard gets a kick out of those things, and I do too. Honestly, there are times when we've been in a guild run and I laugh because, oh, it's just the hunter barraging. I enjoy those because I like to have fun in the game, unlike Hots for Shots, who doesn't have fun in the game at all because everything is super serious. But
when you wipe on trash 3 times going to Mythic Ursoc because a hunter keeps using barrage and hitting random mobs, it becomes an issue.
Well, they did say that they are considering a new pattern where the barrage will actually follow the pattern instead of it pulling from different directions. But they did say that it's something they love. They've always loved the hunter's barrage, and they don't want to change it in that regard. But they did talk about addressing looking at it as it were. But I don't really think they're going to make any changes. But they're
The thoughts there.
Working as intended.
I actually have a macro for when I tank and I'm going through dungeons and I click on it, says, please don't use your barrage here. So that as we're going through, because I mean, there's some spots like on Neltharian's Lair that you don't want them to barrage because they're going to pull everything, or the bats or the seagulls, and I'm going, please don't use barrage here. And it's a button macro that I just sit there and click whenever they start using the shit.
So I wanted to talk about the legendaries because he did talk about that twice. Now, we have a guildie who's gotten several legendaries, and after she got 3, there was a hotfix put in place because people were getting them multiple, back to back to back. And even after the hotfix, she's still getting them. He gave a little bit more light as to what that means, and some of what he said made a lot of sense. People did address, well, QQQ, we're being passed over for the person with the legendary. Well, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. It is what it is. That's human nature to want the better of the 2 players. And he did, he was he said some very honest things about it, but the interesting thing to me is he said when you see those players get multiple legendaries, what's happening is it's a 100% world calculation.
Right, yeah.
So it's a world calculation that every world quest adds.
It is what it is.
It's like, so you have a bucket. Every time someone does a world quest, it adds a possibility to that bucket. Every time someone does a mythic dungeon, it adds a possibility to that legendary bucket. If you've got 1 million players all logged in at right that moment and everybody's adding stuff to this legendary bucket to proc it to drop, it might drop for the same person
It's
twice.
just a formula.
But it's literally, he said different, like from all things you do in the world, it's putting into this that's going to cause it to drop, right? That's the way that it's built. So when you see people get 1 and 2 in a relatively close span of time, that literally was 150% random. It just means that the person who, it just happened to be right moment, mic time, maybe 2 people turned in that specific whatever item it was going to drop from, maybe 2 people did it at the same time, whatever the case may be. But he did talk that it is working the way that they want it. They do have it where if you haven't gotten a legendary, you do increase your chances of being able to receive said legendary. But basically, here's what he said. Somebody said, what can be done to curb the heavy RNG element in regards to legendaries? That's the cause of a lot of frustration. Ian said, the flip side of the frustration is the excitement when the legendaries drop. Guild chat among friends, personal reactions, streams, videos, the excitement would not be present in a completely routine manner of acquiring. 100% valid. We talked about that last week about how the excitement. Should there be interesting items in game or primary stats, secondary stats, nothing else? Blizzard feels that an MMORPG items at max level should affect your gameplay. He did say that theoretically, people could theoretically obtain items. Putting them on a vendor makes the legendary feel like a grind and a relief when you acquire it. So what he was talking about here is if you not knowing what boss it drops from, you're going to farm that boss if you know it drops from a specific boss. If it drops from a specific instance, they wanted it to be less grindy, more fun. Like, okay, I've grinded for this and now I've got it, now I'm done. It's a means to an end, I'm over. But I said that last week where I'm excited because the possibility of a legendary dropping just gets me excited. It makes me want to do all of the things. And it doesn't feel grindy because it's stuff I got to do anyway. It's already shit we log in and do every day. So
there was a video, sorry to interrupt, someone like myself doesn't have one, same with you, Belle. Asmongold made a good video. I know you can't really calculate, but there's certain things you can do each week, and I wasn't doing them, right? Like certain things. So
like, what's the certain things? World quests?
Well, I wasn't doing a Mythic Plus dungeon every week, right? So, and you've talked about that a lot, about the chess, and there was a few other ones, so I wasn't really prepared to give a list.
The content, the better your chances.
Yeah,
so,
right.
For sure.
So someone like me who is just like, I'm going to do my random heroic and wait for the healing bonus to come on, it's not really effective at all.
Which makes sense why Aja, who is our guildie who keeps getting these, makes sense because that girl's a tryhard. That girl's in a Mythic Plus every 5 minutes. She is raiding, she is pugging, she literally does so much that I'm not surprised she gets honestly, when people are like, oh, brr, 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 she takes care of the home. Where her kids are at school. She's got nothing to do during school time, guys. She's on doing this content. She's going to be rewarded for her play. Unfortunately, it's being rewarded 20 times. But
right. I think someone like you, Belle, you could be a little more upset with Aja, where me, when I realized I wasn't doing the right type of content, I can't complain about not getting a legendary, even though it's impossible.
I want
to. And I'm not telling you.
Every time somebody tells me, because she doesn't announce it anymore. Every time somebody tells me, I message her and tell her "fuck you," but I don't really mean it. I mean, I'm Tio, our other warlock, got a freaking legendary feat.
Yeah, and there's a couple things that play into that. One, I've got my very first emissary quest. I got a legendary.
That's the sex with dead people, right?
The seal of necrophantasia. It's beautiful. With my power rune weapon, has 2 charges now. Love it on Xavius. But he made a very specific point when he said, if you haven't gotten one, keep playing the game. And then he went on to say, like, world quests, BGs, Mythic Plus dungeons.
BGs?
Yes.
Yeah, you can get them from everything.
What you're is because what you're saying, and exactly what Asmongold is saying, if you're only focusing on doing PvP all week and you're not doing Mythic Pluses, you're not raiding, you're not doing this, you're not doing world quests, you're missing those other opportunities to put your number in that bucket for you to get that legendary. They want you to play different classes. They want you to play different specs. I mean, that's a real big thing for them right now. They want you to go in and try different aspects of the game. Oh, yeah.
There's no way.
You can say that now. He's saying because of how... Go ahead.
All right, so... if they wanted you to play different specs, they would make it where when you used your artifact knowledge for one weapon, it goes to all your weapons. In order for you to max out one weapon,
what are you, 15 and want pay to play too? What the fuck?
No, I know what he's saying. He's saying...
No, they do not want you to play multiple specs in that one class. All right, so you can go up to... all right, let's look at my point of view here.
Right.
So... in order to run Affliction in Mythic Plus dungeons, you need up to level 20. In order for me to raid, I need up to level 18, roughly. That's when it starts to work. Level 23 is where it starts to... I get more refunds on Chaos Bolts. And then for Destro, or for Demo, I need X amount of haste gear and then so many points in my artifact. Okay. So in order for me to completely full out one weapon, it needs to be...
and when you say full out one weapon,
full out, like all the artifact knowledge done, right? So for that,
have you done that with even one main? Because I haven't, and I've been on.
No, that's what he's saying. So he's saying that they don't want. That's his point.
You can.
But I got to counter.
You can play multiple specs, but you're gonna be like for every mythic dungeon that I don't do on my main, I lose points, or if I want to put some points in the off spec just in case it gets buffed, or I want to use it for this other thing, I'm now further behind on this, and unless I'm playing for 24 hours a day.
Whatever weapon though.
No, but he's saying
I understand what he's saying, but the artifact power for your second weapon after you've acquired the first and have worked through it, it's double the drop. So you're not.
No, that's only artifact power. That's only through artifact knowledge. So in order for me to completely max out for the last point for your artifact weapon, you have to spend 4 million points of artifact knowledge.
Is that how much it is?
So yes, it is 4 million and some odd numbers for one spec.
Oh, now, so you have to work for it.
No, but listen, no, let him.
No, All right, so now
I'm just
there's
saying,
only-
it sounds like crying to me.
No, let him go.
No,
Hang on.
I'm just saying they don't want you to play multiple specs right now because
Not
if
right
you get
now, they don't,
I
maybe.
don't think they
if
ever
you get
did.
one
though, in my
legendary
opinion.
for
They
say
do.
Bell, say you get a demo, you get your legendary belt for demo, right?
Mhm.
That increases your chances
I
to
don't know how.
generate a soul shard by 30% every time you cast a fire spell. Only demo or only Destro has fire spells. That belt, that legendary belt, is completely useless
Okay.
for either other two specs.
That's one of the.
Like in for you, for your empowered rune weapon.
Right.
It
I
only
can't use it for either one.
Yeah, so they only want you. They might want you to, but they're not allowing you to play.
Well,
They actually have a lot of legendaries that are multi-spec, though.
Yeah.
But they're not overall DPS gains. They're just generic, like the neck that gives you a shield, or if you don't take damage for 5 seconds, or the.
Well, what about the?
Log.
I don't
put
think
one
Lycan meant they want you to go ham sandwich with every single
No.
spec and be full on everything. I think he
But-
meant that they want you to be creative and to step out into other specs. I don't think that they meant that they want you to spend 20 hours a week gaming on one and then 20 hours a week gaming on your other spec. I don't think that that was going to be ever Blizzard's intention because it doesn't make any fucking sense why anybody would want all 3 specs completely maxed out in the first 2 months of an expansion. That doesn't make any
But-
sense to me whatsoever. I
Look at
can
my,
see
like-
your side of it if because you're rating on a high end, you need to be able to swap. Do I feel bad for you? No, I don't. You're crying
No.
for no reason, in my opinion.
I'm not even.
However,
crying.
I respect your opinion in the way that you feel on that regard, but do I think that
I
it's a
don't-
good argument? No, I don't.
I
No,
don't
but
respect it.
All right.
but there's going to
Not
be
when they've given
there's-
us everything they've given us. I don't think
when
that
there's
that's
a
good
lull
argument.
when there's a space in between content or you get closer to the end of the expansion.
This
there's lack
guy
of
right
content.
here, then you have something else to do because they've
No,
given
but
you
they're
so
also
much.
so
Right.
you mentioned right, but they're also going to do a catch-up mechanic as well. You watch.
Well, he
I know
did.
there
No,
is
he
one.
did say that. He did
Oh, did
say
he?
he did say
Right.
that they are going to
Yeah.
be doing catch-up mechanics as far as your artifact knowledge learning. When you go to put it in, you know how it's like 4 days. That was actually on my list to talk about, which I probably could have said that before I sent Cody on or Hots on his tirade. He did say that they are doing that in 7.1. So one of the focuses is going to be so if even people that have leveled late, so
Right.
it's twofold: specs and new and late levelers. Like maybe you just got to 110 in 7.1, right? Well, whatever you should be at for your artifact knowledge, because literally when people started, they got started doing their artifact knowledge. The first one took 4 days. They are having that catch-up mechanic in place, and it will be a shorter duration in order to get you caught back up. I probably
That's
Remember
already
when
a thing
but-
right now.
Remember when they did that with PvP and
Yeah.
everyone lost their minds? Oh, you're
Right.
going to be able to cap out your conquest and you're that.
But they did talk about that specifically in 7.1 as it being a driving force for a catch-up mechanic in place all the way around, and not just for the artifact power, which is really easy because you could get it on one and equip your weapon and learn it on the other outside of the quest that apply it. But I don't think Blizzard wants you to play multiple specs or multiple classes at once. I don't think that that's their intention. I think they want you to try stuff out. I think when you are bored on your main, I think they do want you to try other things. I do think they want to drive you into this different content. Do I think that they want you to spend all of your time? I can probably see it now, Hots. You probably have all of your weapons unlocked for the one class and you're working on it for another because that's the way that you play.
yeah.
Not everybody plays where they have to have 20 mains and them all maxed out. That's not the way everybody plays. But everybody also doesn't play with just one main. So, I mean, there's a side. It sounded like you were kind
All
of
kinds
crying.
of-
You
No,
were crying
no,
a little
less-
bit because,
No,
God
I'm a
forbid, I
stickler
have
for
to
my
work
part
hard
there.
for something.
Look,
Ew, man.
He works hard.
All right.
He only
And
works. He spends a million hours.
Hots, I will concede a little bit to you on that point because I am leveling 2 specs right now at the same time.
I'm not.
I started off as a third. I started off as Unholy because Frost was shit. I won't change my main because my main's a DK and will always be a DK. But I did go Unholy at first. They buffed Frost. Frost became a
And they
viable
came right back
spec
to
now.
Frost.
Absolutely, because that is my favorite. Would you go Holy? If you had to change, say Holy was shit and you couldn't even heal a regular dungeon in, and you went Disc, and then they buffed Holy and brought it back to where it should be, you'd go right back to Holy.
I've never changed, so I've
For
never
me,
changed.
but for me, it's
I
the class.
that's what I'm. Me and Dave, me and Secret are like, no, we never
Yeah,
change.
See, for me, I don't care.
All
It's
day,
just
every day.
it's
But that's good
I-
to
I'm
separate
a
you guys
prospect.
as different types
It's
of
true.
players,
It's
right?
true.
so I went and I got mine. I think my Apocalypse is up to 17. It's 17 on the artifact bar. And if you switch over, I'm now like 22 on my Frost and like 21 on my Maw of the Souls. So
level 20.
I have well, yes, and I have the opportunity though to spend the time to put into it. You know, but if I want that, then I better work for it. You know, I don't want them to hand me it. Just like with the legendaries, I got the legendary. I was happy, but you know what? I don't want to buy a legendary.
Would you two say that having to work really hard with other specs for your weapon and your artifact power and your hull and all, or your knowledge, would you say that it gives you purpose beyond logging in and raiding or logging in to do the one thing you log in for? Would you agree that that could be a possible balance or reason behind that, so it does give you...
It is. It's a balance because, you know, there are people that literally log in just to raid. That's all they do. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they can't just do that anymore. This isn't like the last expansions where all you're doing is going straight in, getting gear, logging out. Like, now you actually have to do world quests. You have to quest to get artifact power to make yourself better than, you know, the next priest or the next mage or the next, you know, warlock.
If you're into that competitive.
You know, if that's what you want to do, you have to log in and do other stuff than just what we're usually known to do.
You can't just record pet battles and think you're going to get artifact power and raid.
Hots, what would you say if they made it really super easy for you to go and acquire those things? Do you feel like you would be as interested in the game? Like, this is the only reason I'm asking is because your explanation was actually a huge rant on several people on the forums. It really, not his rant. His exactly everything he said was a huge, like, somebody went off the deep end on the forums and they were pissed off. By the way, welcome back, Hots, because it's been I've been trying to find a way to troll you and I finally got it. Anyway, but
you almost put my fries in there for a second.
And I love it. I missed being able to get him all riled up. And Jim ruins it for me every time because he's got to come in and be Captain Save him.
It irritates me, but I do understand where Blizzard is at with these.
What would you do though?
With their artifacts,
like if you could just easily do that, honestly, how would that make you feel differently about the game? Would you find drive still?
I would find the drive to just max it out as fast as possible and then be done with it, and then be one of those people that just log in every day or log in, raid, with do some side stuff every once in a while. Yeah, but I'm not necessarily complaining about it, but it's definitely like there's so much that I want to do right now, but I can't because I'm stuck having to work on my main, and it's like, well, I want to try this, I want to try that, I want to do this, I want to do that. I can't because I have to, be grinding.
You have to focus.
Yeah.
You can't really squirrel in the.
like
Dark, who was
the most I've done
20.
this expansion outside of Secret Sauce is transfer a bunch of characters over. That's all I've done.
I haven't even begun even trying to look at leveling another.
I have 5 110s now, and it's like I've gotten to the point where I get I got my artifact knowledge going, and that's the only reason I did it is because.
And I can't troll him because I just trolled him hardcore and sent him in his face was all red, and then Jim is coming to the rescue with his cape.
So I'm learning to shut up, guys. But
it's really good because right now people are realizing, oh, Belle was totally just fucking with them, and people are probably
I was
commented
talking earlier too, but I had my mic on mute. So
the people probably had already commented when I said those things and were probably like, wow, Belle's kind of a bitch. And then now they're probably like, oh, I should probably not.
But how do you validate your troll? You get one person and you get this guy trying to be his buddy. You got us both, so you win.
Anyway.
But, I mean, realistically, I don't want them to change it. Me and my old
maybe
coach
just make it a tad, give just a tad.
I would say look at it. And maybe
if you've done X amount of things, right? Like if you've gotten to this artifact knowledge and you've gotten to this set amount of traits unlocked and you've gotten to this with, maybe that would mean something would unlock for your account to do a thing.
I would say,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like if you max out your main, what is it? Rank 34 is a max. Yeah. Right. If you max that out, I think that should be like, hey, let's open the door for your alts to kind of somewhat of a boost or whatever you want to call it. I mean, I get that. That's going to take months. Oh. Some people might be able to do it in a few months because they just have that much time. I don't. So it's going to take me several months to max out my staff, and then that's just my opinion. Ooh. I wish it'd be nice if.
Ooh, my.
Yeah, maximize. But that's just the way I look at it. If you could finish your artifact power on your main main weapon, whatever you want to call it, and then be like, hey, cool, kudos to you. Let's give you like a, I don't know, it'd be like an all-time debuff. I don't know.
Imagine the game just gave us nice like sayings every once in a while, like, hey, good job.
I know, it just popped up like a DBM warning.
Keep up the good work.
Congratulations.
They put like a diminishing return so we don't get our max artifact power right away. They don't want us to rush through, because if you like right now, it is taking me forever, because I think it's 128,000 I need for the next level.
Yeah,
and I'm already at research 5 because I've been on it every week. So unless I go up to 6, 6,
I'm
7.
on research 8.
Can't be on research 8.
Yes, I am.
I have like 3 tunes at 7.
I don't know why mine's so slow then.
You fucked up.
Because
you missed a day.
Yeah, Death Knights.
I must have missed them.
Oh yeah, we unlock it as soon as you get 110. So that's
because Kaylin's at 9 and I'm at 8. So
I'm
research
at 10.
level 8.
I just got 10.
Yeah.
Screw all you guys. I don't know how am I stuck at 5.
Hey, language on the show.
You didn't.
Okay.
You probably didn't start it or something.
Moving on.
Timekeeper? Do you have a timekeeper?
Yeah,
on the
we're gonna move on. A couple more things to highlight really quickly. The Shadow Priest talent redesign is happening in 7.1. Shit's fucked up. They know it. They've acknowledged it. They're sorry. We apologize. Hots, just kidding. You can go back to your Shadow Priest after 7.1 when they fixed it. Stuff's a little broken right now, guys. They've acknowledged. They're fixing. They're doing.
That was cool at BlizzCon, though, when they announced how the S-Priest was going to work. You could hear, like, an over the crowd, and then obviously it didn't...
It didn't translate well to...
Shadow Priest...
Yeah. Not a Shadow Priest anymore.
Are top.
Yes, but
it's the subpar are bottom.
Yeah.
They're barely beating
But they are working on that. Lots of stuff. They're continuously working on the Mythic Dungeons. I think they're really, really happy with the way that Mythics have played themselves out. And now, let's talk about Karazhan, and then we'll move on to the segments. So Karazhan, I was told, and I seen several videos where you had to have your followers eye level 850 to be able to go to what lurks beneath the tower is the name of it for your mission. However, I also seen a blue tweet that said that was misinformation via data mining. However, here's what I can tell you. I've spent the last 3 weeks in PTR, and for the last 2 weeks, I log in every day trying to figure out how to get the attunement. There's nothing. There's no quest that pops up. There's no mission on my mission board. I've asked people in chat, and PTR trade chat are a bunch of assholes. One person will be asking, "Hey, can I get? I need a tank for Karazhan Mythic." Great, I need to know how to get into Karazhan, and I'll ask as soon as someone asks, and nobody will respond to me. I have looked on Wowhead. Blizzard Watch said you had to be attuned with the mission, but Blizzard says you don't. I don't know the honest truth, guys. If you are somebody who's been in PTR and you've gotten attunement for Karazhan, I need somebody to tell me what the fuck's going on, because I need to get attuned. I have literally cannot find a solid here's how you get attuned for Karazhan to even help you guys with that. But you do need to be attuned as a backup. Make sure your followers are eye level 850, just because I watched a video where it had to be, where you had to get that mission to go into the dungeon. But for right now, I swear I will find the information. I'm trying my hardest. I even asked my Blizzard buddy. I'm like, hey, I know I don't really ask you things, but I need your help. Karazhan attunement. He sent me back a smiley face. I'm going to respond appropriately with a GIF or maybe a meme and see if we can...
Maybe a this face.
I know it's gated because they even asked...
It is gated.
Lore asked Ian and said, what do we... are you going to open this up like raid-wide like you're doing Archway? And he goes, not right now.
Not right
now.
So
there's something there.
But they want, because they want to show that you have, they want to make it, same thing with Archway and Court of Stars, like, you've proven once you've been in there and you've done this content that you can do it.
Right.
So they did, but it's not going to be right now. But there is an attunement that you have to have. I seen a video where you had to have iFollowers 850. Then I seen one of the tweets, the blue tweet said, no, this is misinformation. But Blizzard Watch also
you have to do a Mythic 5 Court of Stars in Archway.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I've been in PTR trying to get somebody in PTR that has the attunement to tell me, and nobody has told me anything. So if you know, please... Wowhead says iFollower 850. Blizzard Watch says it. Blizzard says no. I tend to believe Blizzard over Wowhead and Blizzard Watch, but I mean, if you know, tell me. If not, I'm hoping by next week I'll have information, so that I want you guys to be able to prep for Karazhan, but that's just not the thing right now.
It's fine. I'll be prepping for BlizzCon, so whatever.
Oh yeah, that's happening soon, isn't it?
No.
It is happening. So the 25th, there's a lot of stuff on the developer Q&A. Make sure you go to pwnecastdailyquest.com. We have all that on there for you. So 25th, Trial of Valor comes November 8th. So I mean, we're excited. Yes? Question mark. I'll try to find information on Karazhan and get that. I'll get that to you guys. So let's jump in. Let me make sure I didn't have any other news. I think that was pretty much all we had on the news tip. We do have some lore from Lycan.
A little bit.
That's a lot. So we'll probably condense that into
my lore.
Yeah, maybe not 3 pages.
I think all of our segments are.
Oh, it's 3 pages.
Just know that time is not an issue, so you don't have to go fast. Time is not really an issue, but we also don't want a 3-hour show. So just be. Now people are yelling at me right now. Shut up, Belle.
I know.
But
let Lycan go. Let him go.
So you're going to give us a kind of where we are right this moment, right? Is that what's happening? Okay, I'll let you take it away.
So I was asking what lore I should cover tonight, and one of the writers of Rohan by the name of Tags asked if I can give a Warcraft lore summary of where we're at. He wanted me to do all 3 tonight.
Is it Tag Your It?
No, Tags. Tags.
Oh, we have a Tag Your It that just joined.
It might be him. But he asked me to give a real quick thing, and you're making this very long. So anyway, so starting from the beginning of Warcraft, I'm going to go from there. It's been 4 years since the last war, when the Horde and the Alliance joined together to fight the Burning Legion. Unfortunately, it was not meant to last forever, though. The Alliance was used to call the Alliance of Lordaeron, had banded together under one banner. However, they had their own leaders and their own laws. The humans had Varian, the dwarves had Magni Bronzebeard, the gnomes were under Gelbin Mekatorg, and depending on who drew their alliance from on the Night Elves, it was ultimately Tyrande Whisperin, but also Archdruid Fandral Staghelm was fighting for power as well. Flip on the other side with the Horde side. Slightly different in their leadership, the Darkspear Trolls were under Vol'jin, the Tauren under Karen Bloodhoof, Forsaken were under Sylvanas Windrunner, and the Orcs were under Thrall. Now, all the races of the Horde fall under the leadership of the War Chief, but they all do still have a say in where the direction of the Horde is going. The Forsaken, however, petitioned for membership under the Alliance, but they were viewed as nothing more than to scourge themselves, and it was ultimately Thrall that accepted them into the Horde. As for the story during the vanilla, it was pretty much all over the place. The developers had fun bringing to life all the characters from the RTS into the RPG, and then they had introduced some really main characters that would permeate through the storyline even to today. From Ragnaros to Cthulhu, Onyxia to Nefarian, and Hakkar the Flare to Kel'Thuzad. These 6 end bosses would shape the direction for the game for the decade to come. Also, while we were downing bad guys and getting fat loots, there was also growing tension over the lands between the 2 factions. You had the battlegrounds such as Warsong Gulch, Arathi Basin, the Alderac Valley was the last one. Excuse me.
I love that place. AV.
I loved Alderac Valley. I can't stand it. Now, everything was awesome until Doom Lord Kha'Zix reopened the Dark Portal. We got the first new playable races in Burning Legion, which were the Janai that were led by the Prophet Felon, and the Blood Elves under Lorthamar Theron. Kel'Thas Sunstrider, however, was under the direction of Illidan Stormrage, and he had sent forces to attack the Naru, which were the light-based sentient race that we got to know and love that were in Shattrath. We also got to see the homeland of the Orcs for the first time and met new characters such as Garrosh Hellscream. We also went up against Lady Vash, Kel'Thas, and even Kil'jaeden. We even got to experience our first encounter with the Guardian, or at least the inhabitants that were left inside of Karazhan. Garrosh came back to Azeroth and was disappointed in the way Thrall was dealing with the Alliance. He didn't think negotiating was the way it should be. He thought all they needed to do was just conquer and take what he thought was his. So Thrall sent him off to Northrend to chill out for a little bit. Then the Scourge came. A disaster of biblical proportions, fire and brimstone and rivers and seas boiling and all that fun stuff, dead rising from the graves. It was mass hysteria. But seriously, a plague that nearly wiped out Azeroth due to a coding mistake by the developers. It was actually even studied by the epidemiologists and is known as the Corrupted Blood Incident. And this is, what was it? It was taken out of the raid and was able to be spread. There was people trying to cleanse it, and It was nasty.
It was everywhere.
It was
it wiped the whole entire world almost.
The people would put it on people would get it on their pets, dismiss the pet, and then resummon it in a city.
Yeah, they say low levels were getting just one-shotted as they walked into major cities.
NPCs were dying.
Yeah. We also got saw the introduction of the only hero class that World of Warcraft would see, which is the Death Knight. We got to see another old god, Yogg-Saron, and people who know me actually got that last joke, from whose blood the Icecrown Citadel was built. We got to see the Keepers of Aldwar, which was the prison for Yogg, and Malagos, the Blue Dragon aspect, and the first one of them to die, that thought that the mortals should not have magic. Also, Kel'Thuzad made a reappearance. They had moved Naxxramas from the Plague Lands up to Northrend. Got to fight him. It was awesome. One of the best expansions, in my opinion. A lot of people agree with me on that. Things had settled down between the Horde and the Alliance a little bit until the Wrathgate incident. Was one of the greatest campaigns that we actually went on. That's when the Royal Apothecary Society had used a plague that Sylvanas had tasked them to make to kill not only the living, but the Scourge as well. Unfortunately, Grand Apothecary Putris used it on Arthas and the Scourge, but also on the Horde and the Alliance, calling for both death for both the living and the dead. After we freed the Undercity, we headed straight for Icecrown Citadel. Took on a vow creations of the Lich King. After he killed us all, Tyrion Fordring, which stood there shivering in a block of ice for the whole fight, asked for one last request and res us all, and allowing us to kill Arthas and see Bolvar, Ford Dragon, take the throne as the Lich King. There must always be a Lich King, or the Scourge would just run amok. Now, not to be undone, Deathwing had been sitting underground, licking his wounds, and being maddened further by the old god Enzoth, which we are actually experiencing now in Legion. He flew around, shit fire on everybody, caused some global warming and shit. He just wanted to see the world in flames. During this, the wall between Gilneas and Silverpine Forest was also broken down. After some time, Varian had agreed that the Worgen would be granted entrance in the Alliance. On the other side, we also had the Goblins of Kazan. They had also had their home destroyed and joined the Horde after they had saved Thrall's life. Thrall wanted to get in touch with his shaman side, and brought Garrosh back to thaw out from Northrend and put him in the heat of Orgrimmar. Said, keep an eye on the place. In the Grand, though, Thrall met Agra, who also made him change his name, his looks, and his lifestyle. Typical woman. Goel joined up with the Aspects and made Kalagos the 5th member of the Power Rangers, and this time traveled through time to kill Deathwing. And see, you people thought that Warlords was the first time that we actually saw the whole time traveling thing. After killing the 2nd Dragon Aspect, they used up all their power and became mortal, so now we're down 2 Aspects, 3 to go. Karen was poisoned, and Karen challenged Garrosh to a duel. Garrosh killed Karen with not realizing that his blade was poisoned by Magatha and fell in one blow. The duel was after attack of a bunch of druids that were just being peaceful. Thought that it was done by Garrosh, was actually done by the Twilight's Hammer clan under the direction of Cho'Gall. Oh, and we fought Ragnaros and Alakir. Not sure how they actually fit in the story, but I think they just wanted to bring them back out. Everything was peaceful and nice until we see Garrosh kill an orc captain for attacking a city, killing every man, woman, and child inside this neutral city in the Stone Talon Mountains. Till Gary decided himself to attack a neutral city, killing every man, woman, and child inside. Then we met some RPing furries who got terrified by, you guessed it, an old god. Yasharj, which is the 3rd one we're actually dealt with, 4th one rather, I think we're on 4th, infested the land with his final breath after the Titans had killed him, and they buried his heart deep underground to never be found. We saw a new introduction of a new class and race, the Pandaren, a race that originally was introduced as an April Fool's joke in World of Warcraft 3, would bring their ways of the brew and the class, the monk, with them. We also learned that from the Winnie the Pooh that one of his stories about the Mogu and the rest of the inhabitants of Pandora. We fought many of the Yashar's corrupted inhabitants, including the Mogu, the Mantid, and the Shaws. We were trying to clean the mess up as Gary was collecting more and more artifacts to make his army stronger. Prince Anduin was missing, off ringing a bell somewhere in a corner, and he gets crushed by Gary. Vol'jin and Bane are pissed because they were not deemed as true Horde and were kicked out of Orgrimmar. Goel is still pissed, still off playing with his totems. Vol'jin was doing a chore for Gary, realized that Gary was doing, and was stuck in a trap. Then everybody ran to Orgrimmar to kill off the orc while Goel stood there and watched us fight once again, just like he did in Dragon Soul. In the end, Goel was going to execute Garrosh until Varian stepped in and made him go to trial. All this time, we're chasing around shit for a little peckerhead we come to know as Rathian. So, then Vol'jin becomes a new war chief. Garrosh escapes with the help of a bronze dragon by Karazhan. I never could say his name right. They step back in time to another Draenor where before it was blown up to bits. Again, another instance of the time traveling game. You know, it's that whole wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. So good old Gary convinces his father not to drink the green drink, gets the Horde to attack Azeroth, and we decided to jump through the red portal of WoW's near death. We built a castle or a bunch of tents if you're Horde. Met Yrel, who went from a captive to holy shit, she's the new Exarch. Get confused by Velen, not Velen dying. Meet Gul'dan, not Gul'dan. Trying to figure out where the hell Rathian is at, and standing alone in Ashran for hours, getting more confused on lore because of the retconning. We also didn't really kill Archimonde, even though he came back and we killed him, and we watched Gul'dan, again not Gul'dan, slip through the portal and come to Azeroth. That's where we're at pretty much in a nutshell. Tags wanted me to go ahead and bring up some of the big stuff about where we're at for some of the returning players that may not have played during Mist of Pandaria or played during Warlords of Draenor, and that's pretty much where we're at in a nutshell. A special thanks again to Tags, others from the writers of Rohan, I don't know how you say it, and Argent Dawn for suggestions. Thank you. And if you have any
Zohan, same thing.
Okay. Well, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Battle Tags, like in 1312. I gladly accept friend requests. But I think what I want to try to do over the next week, barring any breaking news of huge lore things that are going to happen, I think next week we'll go through where we're at in Legion. Where we learn of another dragon aspect that's dead. Sorry, spoilers. It's been 2 months. You should have went through it already.
Yeah.
But we will actually go ahead and explain where we're at in Origin with all the spoilers. So if you don't want to hear them, you want to block me, mute me while I'm doing my lore. And then after that, where we're going and some tinfoil hat edition with that as well. Possibly the Argus.
I'm going to buy this tinfoil hat. All of you have them. I'm like the only one doesn't have them.
No, you can probably find it on Amazon.com.
Amazon.com.
Or just grab some tinfoil and wrap it around your forehead.
Yeah.
Well, we need that for our chicken nuggets.
We do need it in our hot pockets. The meatloaf, Mom! Jim,
was the lore fast enough?
That was really great, actually. I still had more stuff to do that I didn't get to finish while you were doing your lore.
Don't worry, you can.
I was talking to Elnars about her Leroy Jenkins pull.
Kale said, where are you? And I'm like, oh, it's showtime. And he's like, but aren't you supposed to be on the show? I'm like, yeah, but it's lore time, so I'm getting some stuff done.
Disrespect.
I listen.
I do listen. I always
Yeah.
comment on it, right? I always comment on it. But that's because I learned the art of active listening. When you do telemarketing in your younger years, they teach you the art of active listening. You find specific keywords that you pick up on the certain keywords, and that's going to be what you repeat back to engage. See, I learned things. Anyway, moving on. I love you. Like it so much. Jimma, how goes the land of pet battles?
It's pretty good. I just want to say, hello everyone listening. Where are you listening from? I always wonder that. Are you in the car? Are you in game?
Prison cell?
At home? Prison cell. Either way, I hope you're having a good day, and I want to thank you for listening. Today, I want to talk to you about pet battles, right? That's what I do. Whoa. So last week, we spoke about the amount of experience you get for completing your pet battle daily on non-max level characters. So I actually did the math, right? I completed 10 pet battle dailies. That was enough for both pet treats to expire, so 1 hour, and I got 40% of a level. So not necessarily the fastest way to level, but if you're power leveling your pets anyway, every 3 days or every 5 days to get 1 or 2 levels, that's pretty good, right? So I found that very interesting. So when you are power leveling your pets, though, efficiency, knowing the right teams will help you snap back and get faster, like the Pet Battle Grandmaster, Jimma Banks, right? So how do you, right? How do you get more efficient? I'll tell you. You want the add-on rematch, right? Rematch is, I don't deal with a lot of add-ons. I really don't. There's so many good ones for in-game and pet battles, but there's a few that I do use, and the one I want to tell you about is a rematch. Rematch, if you don't know, it's just a better view of your pets. You can customize the size of the screen, larger, bigger. You can filter very easily as well. You can go, let me look through my undead pets or my beast pets, right? Or even better, that's been more effective for me in some of the achievements that we're going for now. You may want to know what pets are strong against a flying pet or a magic pet, right? Because some pets just have this one move that may be, the secret killer. So rematch is huge. What I mostly use it for, though, are two things that I didn't say yet. Specifically for keeping track of what pets I'm going to level. You may get a new pet and go, I'm going to level that right away. Or you may get a cool pet that you're going to level later. So you mark it, you put it in your leveling queue, and you've got now a separate list of pets you want to level. And that's great as well. And the other thing, we were talking about efficiency, right? You want to get those 10 pet battles in an hour, or you just want to be a little more efficient with power leveling your pets. So Rematch will allow you to create custom teams. Most of you already know this, but you'll create a custom team, name it Aki the Chosen, Flowing Pandaren Spirit, and when you land in front of that trader, you click a button, your team's in the pet slots, you're able to win. So you're going to save seconds, minutes within your hour, and that's really what it's all about when you're power leveling pets. So I just wanted to talk to you about one of the add-ons that I use in my day-to-day life, being more efficient with pet battles. So what I also just want to quickly go over is, we mentioned the patches coming out, 7.1, and we've got new content. Bell dropped the news a couple weeks ago, Raiding with Leashes 4 achievement, which is going to be really cool. It's going to bring us back to, Lich King, Alduar, TOC, Ice Crown Citadel, and you're going to be able to get pets from there. And I've said on multiple shows, when you get those pets, learn them, maybe share them with a friend so they can learn them, get credit towards the achievement, sell it. Okay? Mm-hmm. Don't worry about what Bell's going to say that you're acting like, or you want some gold now, you want to sell the pet, make your gold. So definitely a good recommendation. And then there's the one thing that I thought was interesting is there's 4 new Falcosaur pets, I think they're called. They're just like little birds, and they'll appear in different areas, and you'll be able to, get a world quest for them, and then they'll actually give you like a quest chain, and you'll follow the quest chain, and there's just some new content with that. So new pet battle content already in 7.1, new pets to collect and enjoy.
Hey Jim, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
On the Rematch, I use Rematch. Mm-hmm. I absolutely love it.
Right.
Are you able to share the team strings like in a post? Like if I put it up, that would be awesome if you're able to share those. If you put them in, on a site and say, here, look, if you copy this, throw it in your Rematch, it'll let you know what I use for that
that's
team.
A good. You know what? That would help a guide. So for PDQ, if I made an article on the power leveling, so I've already done a video guide and I've got timestamps for all those. But what I could have also did in the article is take a screenshot. So I think that's a great suggestion. I don't know how to link, but it's very easy to set those pet teams up. So good. That'll look great on a guide.
See that?
Yeah, there you go.
Help it. I got your back.
Boom.
He's trying to co-star,
right? Well, he is. He always was like, it was he had a grieving period when I took the pet battle content. I didn't really take it from him because he does so much for the show, but I you know what I mean. It's for me. He's a good guy. Thank you for letting me have that.
You're welcome.
I don't even need to compliment these fuckers because they do it just fine on their own. They're fluffing their own.
Oh yeah,
they're fluffing their own pillow.
They're all fluffing.
We got a bromance going. Leave us alone.
Secret, what do you got for your Secret's rating sauce?
Nothing too thorough or anything like that, but it's something that you and I talked about with Aja for a while about the mass amount of people that we have that were interested in rating and stuff like that. So I know it went. We had this. I can't even. It's gonna overextend, my screen and my monitor. But we had so many people, and there are some guilds that are fully functional and capable of having like a 30-man group, and not worry about mechanics and stuff like that. So thanks to Bell and everyone that's part of Writers, having 2 guilds, 2 giant guilds, for that matter. It helped to have 2 separate guilds to raid with. And, we did this whole kind of like a lottery draft, whatever you want to call it, and, kind of pick and choose who we wanted as part of these teams. I think it worked out in the long run, and it's going to continue to work out in the long run because 30 people, like I said, good. But for us, I think it's a better fit to have, 15, 20-man groups. and I'm gonna say it, less fuckery, less shit that I have to heal through, and I will stop healing even in a raid if you're gonna stand in bullshit, or I'll leap of faith your ass out of some stuff. But Belle, her and I talked a lot during Hellfire Citadel. She's gotten a lot better, so I'm super proud of her for that, because she's the RBG person, the PvPer and whatnot. Yeah, so
although I've been more PvE because we haven't started RBGs yet, and I've been so focused. So yeah. Yeah,
and it's great to have you there. As the GM of this giant guild, it's a positive aspect for people that are raiding to see, hey, our GM's here, whatever, and it's great. I like it, and Aj has done an excellent job with writers too, and the people that are on that side. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday, when we started, I was racing, just like a lot of people. We wanted to beat writers too, and progress through it faster. But it's there's always these little bathroom breaks. Got to get a drink. Internet's bad.
I had to go number 2 in the middle of the raid, so.
That would be a raid.
So right on the other side of this wall is my restroom. So
I had to do a number 2, and
that's
when I Facebook is when I'm number 2 in. Okay.
I have a bucket that I raid on.
Right.
Oh no. Yeah.
It's one of those hospital chairs that flip up the seat.
I know, right? Yeah, just bloop. But
can you do that bloop again? Because I feel like it goes with my previous graphic example.
Yeah, absolutely. So, for all the other guilds that do watch the show and stuff like that, if you're having like the same type of mass amount of people that want to raid, I don't know, talk to your guild and see if they're willing to cut the team in two. I mean, go to like a 12, 13 man, but base it off of comp. If you don't have the right comp for 12 man, hey, tough it out. Recruit.
Yep.
People are always looking for to be part of an active raiding guild. So I mean, it doesn't matter what server you're on. There's always new people that are coming to the game because Legion's really good now, and they might want to be part of they might have something to bring to the table other than, hey, I just want free loot and stuff like that. So, and other than that, I mean, I've been checking logs a lot since I kind of either doing Mythic Pluses or checking logs and seeing kind of where we ranked and compared to other guilds or other runs with the same item level. And it's not bad. I mean, we were basically neck and neck with these item level groups. So, again, like I said last week and the week before, I'm just super happy that a lot of people have taken the amount of time to gear out, learn the rotation again. Because, some people say there's not really a big rotation change, but I haven't gotten a chance to play any other class other than spamming flash heal and, renews on everybody. But, I'm happy. I'm going to continue to be happy. Last night was a really good point for everyone in Riders to be able to one shot, and yeah, it's only normal. So what? Mm-hmm. Some people jump straight into heroic because they could, and I'm not mad at them. I'm happy for them. We move at a different level than other guilds and other raiding groups, so we'll get there. I'm happy to see when we get there. A couple more clears than normal just to get people like their trinkets and their rings and whatever they need. But at the same time, Mythic Pluses are the way to go because some of that gear is fantastic. And I seen someone with a Mythic 10. Relic, and that thing's disgustingly awesome. I won't see one of those anytime soon, but
never say never.
Oh, no, I'm not going to.
Did I hear that right?
Really bad.
I'm working on my active listening. Sorry to cut you off. Did Guild 2 clear before Guild 1?
8 minutes. They beat us by 8 minutes.
But here's the thing, and this is what I said. I was talking to Aj about this earlier because, it kept being, fighting. Everybody's fighting different ways from Raid 2 to be like, yeah, well, I mean, when we downed it before you guys, here's the thing. I don't give a fuck when you down the goddamn boss. Let me just be real. No, it wasn't even about that. You know what I was proud of? I was proud that both of our teams did a full clear on the first night of progression. That's what I was happy about. You want to know why? Because I had to poop in the middle of the raid. That's why we didn't down the boss, because it takes me approximately 8.23 minutes
so it's your
to drop in flush, wash the hands, and get back on comms to raid.
But that's because you have those dirty ass hands on your
No,
Facebook.
in truth though, I think that's great. I think it's good. They need that they feel like they want to be top dogs. Okay, you can have it. Here's your gold fucking star. Cool, you cleared
know what,
it first. But honestly,
Hey,
I'm just happy both of them did it. I'm proud of both guilds.
I'm happy
Throughout-
that. Go ahead, Lakin.
I was gonna say throughout the raid, I kept whispering Aja, and teasing her about,
trolling her.
You only need 1 tank and 2 heals on the first boss, and teasing her stupid shit like that. And the entire time we're going back and forth. Yes, it was a race, but it was a friendly race, and it was nice to see.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice to see that both teams, like you said, go through that progression.
Yeah.
We really didn't experience a lot of problems in the raid. I think we messed up once on Ren Farrell, but that was just I think it was an RNG thing that happened with that. But
No,
really,
it was just miscommunication.
Yeah.
So that's all it came down to. So.
it was really nice to see both teams go through without problems. I mean,
yeah, and we cleared
the numbers,
and it's only 7 bosses, but I mean, we did it in like an hour and a half, hour 45. So, I mean, with breaks included, like I know Aja's team, they took a break only as needed. Where, we've been more about like,
Ren Farrell and Emerald Nightmare.
the
spider,
boss.
the spider,
Ellerith.
Ren Farrell.
Ren Farrell.
Oh, okay. I didn't know she had a last name.
Mr. Mythic,
Wow.
hello.
I was like, what? Who's Ren Farrell?
He's
That
like,
doesn't make any sense.
all we have to do is say the spider bitch, and he's like, oh, I know which one that is.
Yeah, that's what we say. It's the spider bitch.
It's Ellerith Ren Farrell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, like, with writers,
You can see
writers
my
one.
resting bitch face, but it's not
was
amused
there.
at all.
But no, we've
Oh,
been
no,
so
I
used
was
to every hour
curious.
taking a break. So, it's just always been that way where, Writers 2 was just like, hey, let's just hammer this out. Do we need a break? Let's vote. Boom. So, different ways, different methods, and at the same time, and it worked out. So I'm stoked.
I was
You know what's
really
secret?
happy.
What was really nice too is that I totally forgot. Like tonight, I'm sitting there finishing up the lore, going, "Oh shit, it's 8 o'clock. I get a raid." And I look on and I look in the curse, and there are like 5 rooms
5
that all
different
have 5
man
people,
groups. Yeah.
and they're all running mythics and they're all pushing out.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That
I
these
told a
teams
lot
are
of them
together.
when I talked to them this morning. They're like, "Hey, are we raiding?" I said, "My ass is gonna be asleep, but you guys can do mythic pluses or whatever you guys need to do." So,
Yeah, it was cool. It's cool.
Yeah, I took a full advantage of that.
Absolutely.
I was like, sleeping, which I didn't sleep at all.
Can you guys put a good word in for me with the rest of the guild mates so I can get in a mythic group?
No, I don't think they'll let you in the
But you
mythic
you
group.
heal, so
No, I don't.
That's
do
what I'm
anything with, I don't do anything with you because you say, "Hey, do you want to do
One
something?" and then
time.
disappear.
Yeah, he does.
Like, I like being an elitist with HOTS and we're undefeated, but like, I want to do mythics and I don't have friends. I don't have WoW friends, guys. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't have
Yeah,
WoW.
because I'm
I
never.
thought you had your bestest buddy who was like your.
He messages me every day. He's like, why are you on the Alliance? So I've shunned my only WoW friends to play Alliance, and I'm just this lonely pet
bro.
battler.
Well, but I mean,
come over.
by your own choice.
transfer them over. Be that good friend.
Me transferring over 4 people is not going to be any different. I've got one of the best PvP healers in the
For
Bell's Bites.
For Bell's Bites, I had mythic stuff that I wanted to talk about for Mythic Dungeons. However, I'm gonna have to push that out because
next week.
I want to be able to announce the video guide that I have that I'm trying to complete for it. So I'm just gonna push that out because there's a lot more than just doing a small Bell's Bites on the mythic stuff. And since we are overtime anyway, we're a lot overtime. PvP stuff, we'll be back next week with that. We are having RBG tryouts on Wednesday. We're not going to be able to probably start doing RBGs until after BlizzCon, but I at least want to start getting the comp. It's kind of broken right now because I don't have a leader. Yet another RBG leader has left me and has left me holding everything as usual. So I'm going to do what I always do, and I'm going to find another leader, and we are just going to keep on fucking trucking because that's what I do. But we are going to have the tryouts, and we are going to do those things. So I'll be able to...
streaming?
Can I try out on my level 100
As
road?
much as I hate it, I will probably go back to streaming the RBGs, even though I hate it. I probably will. But
You'll be fine.
I'll tune in.
but we will. We're having tryouts Wednesday. I'm going to have 2 sets of tryouts. We'll get the comp ready to go, get everybody working on what they need to work on, and then we'll probably start as soon as BlizzCon, when we're done with BlizzCon. So, but for my Bell's Bites, I want to talk about 2 things. So, one, I want to talk about those of you that purchased the t-shirts last week. I did get tweets with you guys taking pictures of your shirts. I'm glad you guys love them. I am rocking one of the t-shirts that it's pretty much the same design for the swag store. So if you're interested, go get yourself a Pwnecast t-shirt, pwnecast.tv. Click the swag link on the left-hand side. But I wanted to show you guys actually like the physical, form. Okay. Now, I also wanted to highlight this beautiful banner back here. Now, our $300 backers for the God tier for DitchCon got these beautiful banners, either Horde or Alliance. This is what they got. I'm going to have to show. It's pretty large, right? I wanted to show.
Hey, it is large.
Charge. But I had the dark. I'm going to call him the dark. He put it up here so that I could show you guys. There's grommets up at the top. It's hanging from a string right now because it was ghetto put up there for this moment. But that's what the backers got for backing. All the backer stuff is being shipped
Sharp
out this
looking,
week.
I like it.
I wanted
so
to be a backer, like a $300 backer, but I had bills.
Don't you worry. This item is actually going to be an exclusive item. Belle actually has a project in the works with somebody. It is a super secret project, and it is something that I can't really devote my full time to until after DitchCon. But we will be launching that shortly, and it's going to be amazing, and everybody's going to love it. But this will be an exclusive of that project that I will be working on with my buddy.
Does it come in Horde?
It does come in Horde.
Ooh.
Yeah, it'd be a good thing to put on your floor.
But this will be exclusively
step one.
This will be exclusively through our. I can't talk about it legally until the legal stuff's out of the way. Which we're working out, but it's going to be
number
amazing. Number one. But
China number one.
Love it because it's amazing. Pretty pliable too, so it's pretty. It does things. But I wanted to highlight that just because I fucking loved it, and I was like, yes, something for the back. Now I'm gonna have to get. I think I'm gonna have my secret weapon do a Pwnecast 1 for back there. He was.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have him do a Pwnecast 1.
Ooh.
Yeah, something to highlight. So, BlizzCon.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks. Those of you that listen to the show, make sure you like us on Facebook. Make sure you follow Pwnecast on Twitter because we are going to be doing live on Facebook. I don't know if you can go live on Twitter. I think you can, ? I haven't played around with it. But we are going to be going live. So if you are a listener, you're listening to the audio, make sure you like the Pwnecast page. Make sure you follow Pwnecast at the Pwnecast on Twitter. Follow all of us. I'm a Twitter warrior. Like, I'm on there. Me and Twitter, we're like this. So make sure you follow everybody. But for that week, we will be reporting live, posting things, pictures, all those things. If you are in California and you're in the Anaheim area on Wednesday night, come see us at DitchCon. Shit is going down and it is getting real very quickly. We are almost at 400 reservations for tickets, which means we could probably add another 200 that'll randomly show up via the Hilton lobby since we're located directly behind the lobby. It's really scary because I don't know if we're going to maximum capacity. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that we are giving shot glasses away, beautiful shot glasses that I just had done. So much stuff is being given away, so many things, party, drinking, all the things, all the stuff. So
huge.
Responsible drinking,
and
everyone.
now I wanted to talk to you guys that go and are used, like last year you came and supported Calm Before the Storm. Calm Before the Storm's changed their format this year, which I didn't really understand what that meant until recently, and then I was devastated. I was asked to be on the World of Warcraft panel very excitedly and scared at the same time. I didn't want to take it because I don't like doing stuff without the boys. Well, then I thought, well, that's fine because they still get to do their stuff with me. Then I find out that that's not really the case because Calm Before the Storm has changed they've changed their format this year. So unfortunately, you will not see all of Pwnecast in that capacity, but we will be there in all the other capacities as we will be helping and we'll be all around there. So you can come heckle me in the audience.
We will.
Panel. I'm sure,
we will.
I'm sure I can count on you. But come find us if you are going to BlizzCon. If you've never found us before, come find us, guys. We're going to be wearing these t-shirts. You can find me by my Jaina hair. You can find Lycan because he'll be there with a beard. Come find us and we will hang out with you. Also, finishing the songs. So I'm going to start getting the rest of those songs done. I keep saying I'm going to do it, but I'm going to actually get it done in the next couple days for the rest of the backers to get those done. And the dress shopping, I've already started, and it's awful.
Can't wait.
She really does.
I have to wear a dress at breakfast with you guys in Stone, too, and I'm just it's awful.
Buddy.
So you're bringing a video camera, right?
Yeah, we are. Pwnecast actually officially has a really nice camera.
Are you going to have a little stand to catch breakfast?
Yeah,
I mean, I think a nice view of you eating breakfast.
I want a lumberjack slam.
Yeah.
So I can be exhausted.
They have new pancakes at Denny's. Okay, we're squirreling. Okay, so So make sure you
Carl's
guys
Juniors.
make sure you guys go to pwnecast.tv for all of your podcast stuff. Make sure you guys check out the PDQ, which is pwnecastdailyquest.com. I think it's the end of the show, guys. We had a really great the discussion that we had on the show.
Weekend WoW was amazing.
Almost forgot the Weekend WoW. Let's talk about the Weekend WoW. Lycan, what did you do this Weekend WoW?
Artifact power. That's pretty much it. Log in. I have my World Quest thing that sits there, and I filter out just the artifact power and the gear. Go through and just bang them out every day, trying to get it as much as I can.
Bang, 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 bang.
That and the outlaw rogue, messing around with it. It's fun. Almost called it combat again. Almost called it combat, but we're close. We don't have time for combat. It's outlaw anymore. That was my week.
There you go.
Dave, Hots, how about you?
Yeah.
I actually had the most interesting dungeon that I've ever had in my entire life happen to me.
Sounds great.
It wasn't wiping. It wasn't, anything scary or anything of the sorts. But I had a couple. I would assume a very young couple come in, and they were apparently arguing and fighting, and they were trying to fix their relationship in instance chat.
Nice.
Cute.
So,
did you screenshot any of this, please?
No. I was very distracted, but I was very curious, and my mind was
telling me no.
The woman or the girl was like, the girl is trying to say, I have this 1 week a month where I'm going to be very irritated and you're just going to have to deal with it. And I was like, that's how you end up single. Yeah.
Hold on. Can we just roll that beautiful bean footage and back it up just a second? So, what?
This is all in instance chat. Good job for paying attention.
I think she's saying 1 week out of the month she's going to be
I was doing a heroic dungeon for the artifact knowledge or the artifact power.
And she plays a blood DK.
No, she played Hunter, but there was this couple, I would assume a very young couple, or it's a dude over the internet pretending to be a girl and trying to date this dude, and whatever the fuck was going on, whatever this relationship was about, they were arguing and they tried to fix their relationship in instance chat. And
Did you help them, Chuck Woolery?
No, I was like, did I miss something? Because I came and they were instantly fighting. I was like, what are y'all talking? What? Okay, this is, there's this thing called Discord that's free. They also have Zoom and Skype. Where you can talk and not bring your personal problems to life for the entire world to see.
But the community helps each other, though, so maybe they were looking for a little assistance. Maybe
I was laughing. I was just, I couldn't take it seriously anymore. I was like, how do you handle this? If someone's gonna be like, you're just gonna have to put up with me being a bitch for a week, I'd be like,
you're gonna be sleeping on the couch.
Yeah. But that was my week. That was
a good week. Wow. I got 5 110s.
That's so awkward.
They're listening and they're just holding hands.
How about you?
Yeah, Jimma, how about you?
Well, I went to go see Withered Jim, and he wanted to give me more loot. So 4 weeks, 4 pieces of loot. If it makes you feel any better, I don't have mythic friends. So I got a new cloak. It was actually the same cloak, but better side stats. But I was not paying another bunch of gold for the 150.
Like your side chick?
Yeah, you could. No, not at all, actually. Close. But what I also did was when I power level pets, I kind of do a little, it's not false advertising, but I say 1 to 25 in 3 pet battles, but it really only gets you to 1 to 24. And you use your stone for your last one. So I had 80 to 100 pets at, 22 to 24. So I purposely saved up all these 1-level stones. I had 200 plus, and I'm adding 2 to each one. And I got another 100 new level 25 pets, which was cool. I always do that where I save up all these items and I'm I'm going to record it, and I just don't record it and I do it anyway. So we added a bunch of new max level pets to the collection. Yes. We already told you I did some PvP with my friend Hots, and hope to get back in there with Lycan actually if he's free this week. And just realizing that it's a little bit of a baddie as far as what I'm doing per week. So I think going forward I'm going to focus on maximizing my time better. So that was my week, kind of.
Faux show.
David, how was your week?
Oh yeah.
You
thanks.
all were introing each other, so I was letting you have at it.
Well, I was waiting. Yeah, you know.
Tell us all
Yeah,
about
I got hit with my government name right now, so that's cool. Just mythic pluses, raid leading. Fuck, I don't know what else. Archaeology, stupid quest.
You love
Hate that
archaeology.
I want that fucking mount, man. Like, I want that mount. I want the mount because I have the pet on my hunter, and I can't wait to get Hattie. I'm assuming that's her Haiti, Haiti, to level 110. That way I can have like 3 mooses. Look amazing.
Is that Meese?
Yeah, 3 Meese.
Is it really?
It's Canadian. No. He's Canadian. He would tell
I was
you.
like, no, it's not.
No, we discussed that at the start of a show like 2 months ago, and there was a nice listener who corrected us. Was like, that doesn't exist.
Yeah, so that's the goal. But I was talking with a friend of mine that does do archaeology, like that enjoys it, which is really weird. That you have to do the quest like to keep progressing on to possibly get this quest. So I have from now until 10 a.m. to get these last 5 fragments of whatever fuckery that I need to get in Suramar. So
good luck.
It took 7 hours to get 1, so this game hates me. Yeah,
I think it does.
It's fine.
It could be worse.
Could be worse.
Yeah, it could be like I'm never gonna get this moose mount.
Right? Belle,
What are multiple mooses?
Beast.
Moose.
Like, is there like a multiple moose?
Belle, we went over this, I think, 8 episodes ago. I'm going to have to get you to read the comments from our
It's
fans.
just, there's a bunch of moose, and there's a moose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just moose and moose. So like when I said moose.
So I wouldn't say like mooses.
Right.
No.
I wouldn't say
It's the same
moose.
with
I would say
deer.
Meese.
But if you see multiple geese, what is one of those?
A gander.
A really big Thanksgiving dinner.
Ooh.
Oh, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving here.
Hey,
Yeah.
dude,
You just
did.
celebrated Thanksgiving.
Oh, it's over though. I can't wait for
Yeah.
yours.
So Belle,
Belle,
how was your week?
So my week in WoW spent doing a lot of mythic pluses. We attempted a
It was 8, right?
it was a 7. It was an Arcway.
Is that what I was listening to that
Arcway
one day?
7. It was awful. It was the worst.
Was it
time.
teaming and raging,
It
right?
was teaming and raging, and it was probably
nice.
the worst day of my life. And I got to tell you something. So we were running with Ren. We had Hagenschlagen, which is Bo, Donovan, and Aja, and we pre-planned it for after raid. So we said, okay, after raid, we're gonna put this. We did this like the day before. So now when people heard what we were doing, Lycan was not the only one to whisper me. Everybody was like, hey, let me in on that. And I'm like, oh, sorry, we had already had the group together the day before. So we go in. It's not too bad. It's kind of bad, but it's not terrible. We get to the second to the last boss. Poor Aja has a shit computer, and because she has a shit computer, she has shit graphics. Now, when I say she has a shit computer, it's not a terrible computer, but for Legion, the graphics have out-leveled, right? It's out-leveled her capability.
That's what my California potatoes
So she
over on the
didn't
floor.
see, what's it called? The something shade. It's the blue that shoots out. He shoots out the blue randomly, and it shoots on the ground like a path of frost. She doesn't see it, and she's standing in it, and she's getting the debuff, and she's dying. So Ren's having to run the boss out to reset him so that we don't wipe. He just resets the boss, and we start over. We finally figure out what the issue is after she's the only one in the run that's getting the debuff. So I'm like, she goes, well, I'm moving out of the purple. Yeah, but I'm not getting it out of the purple, and there's a delay when I move.
Right.
So we figure it out. 10, 11 wipes. 10, 11 wipes. I'm going to go with that's what
At
we
least
did.
you still get a treasure
Well,
chest.
and it
at
was
the end.
late, and I knew we were not going to beat the timer because our gear is not prepared for that. I knew, but I wanted just the satisfaction of knowing that we did the possible worst fucking dungeon in all of the land and doing it on a 7 and at least being able to loot the chest at the end. Don't have to finish it in the timer. That part didn't matter because we weren't going to use it if we weren't going to use it. So we weren't losing anything at that point.
Right.
So we get to the last boss.
Oh, wow.
Well, isn't that a bunch of fresh fuckery going on where they port you to the other side of the fucking dungeon, right? So that's fine and dandy. Like, we totally can do this. Nope. Go down the hallway with an ad. We try to kill the ad. We kill the ad. We kite the other ad. We got those geode things everywhere. No, we died a lot. We were literally those last 2 bosses. It was at least an hour, just those 2 bosses, because we were like, we came this far. We're not giving up. We're doing it.
Right.
So we did do it, and we did feel really good. We all got items that didn't matter because we had better of what we were wearing because we've been doing the Mythic Pluses, so it didn't really help us. But we got to do it, and we got the knowledge and the feel of.
Right. I mean, that's a positive part behind it.
Don't ever let Ren tell you a dungeon's easy to do.
Oh no, we knew it was going to be awful. We went into that full and well, but you're right. He is a damn liar. Whenever he tells you it's going to be easy, that's the opposite. It's completely not easy whatsoever. When we went in to do the fucking Mythic 7.
He runs Mythic 10s with some really high.
Oh yeah,
because he's like 880 gear. I don't even know what is. He's like fucking.
And he's a great tank.
He really is a good
tank.
tank.
Warrior.
Yeah, he's a really good tank.
But he goes, oh, it's easy. It's easy.
He's what Hots for Shots wants to be.
Where?
No, he's what I would want Hots to be. He has the skill, he has the item level, he could be Mythic if he wanted to, but he chooses to not do the grind. Instead, he chooses to raid with Riders. But he is what I would want Hots to be.
Okay, that's what
I would want Hots to be like a little less live or die by the Mythic sword and a little more of just do the things. But people play how people play, and I don't mind. But he's got the same skill set to play on the high level. He just chooses not to. He chooses
Hots without the elitist attitude.
No, because he does have an elitist attitude. There are moments when Ren says something, and I'm like, ooh, that was kind of a dick thing. Yeah. But I love him anyway for that, so...
Yeah.
He's just like, I can carry all the people. And I'm like, fuck off.
Hots, you keep keeping it real, all right?
No, I think you're always his defender. Dad, he doesn't need you, Dad. He's okay.
I'm not his dad. I'm his homie.
Dad, he's okay.
It's his Canadian. It's his Canadian come out.
He's okay, Dad. He's gonna be fine. I'm just teasing. So that's what I did. I did Mythic Pluses. I did prepping the guild bank for both raids and cooking. And I'm in the middle of my Mythic guide and finishing my add-on guide. I know I've been terrible about that, but
BlizzCon's say terrible.
BlizzCon's happening, so I'm just trying to get everything done. We have 2 fucking weeks.
2 weeks though.
Crap.
I still have to order a pair of shoes. Time consuming.
I got 3 hats coming tomorrow.
I got a mug. I have the BlizzCon mug and 2 shirts. I bought 2 shirts coming tomorrow.
We're set.
But we are going to go ahead
and I rolling around on what are they called?
Rascals.
I got my free rascal.
Yeah, rascals.
Fucking hilarious.
We're gonna have to turbocharge that thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
More power. But we're gonna go ahead and get on out of here, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for your now 2 hours every week. I do apologize. It was a long show, but it was a good one. Make sure you comment as usual. Also, if you're gonna be rude on your comments, don't bother. Just don't.
I encourage you to
just do it.
I don't delete any of the rude comments. I let them stay. It doesn't bother me. But it does hurt people's feelings when you're rude. Like when you call someone a dumb fuck, it's rude to people. Like you guys get mad at me when I call the QQers on the forums dumb fuck. Yeah. So I would expect the same rules in return. So if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say it. Just don't say it. Like disagree. I'm not telling you not to agree with us. Like, I don't want you to agree with everything we say, but you don't have to be rude about it. We're all humans, and we can all respect each other. You don't have to be rude. There was some comments last week that I was a little disappointed in. But with that being said, comments are good, bad. It's all good press, no press, any press is
It is what it is, though.
Good with the bad.
You gotta look at me. I have different opinions every week.
Say it to my face, huh?
I often pretend to have a different opinion just to argue with Hots, and that's why I'm so glad he's back on the show. And it's funny, Jim's gonna learn because I will do it every single show.
Trolled today. I got trolled.
But we're gonna go ahead and get on out of here, guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow, do the things, do the cha-cha. We're gonna get the fuck on out of here because I am starving. No, you're not John Cena. No.
Is he?
I have a black eye.
I just seen I just seen a meme with John Cena on like Cenarius' body, maybe. John Cenarius.
John Cenarius.
Did anybody see that on Twitter?
That's fucking hilarious.
Or it was on Facebook.
Val, did you see it or saw it?
I see.
She saved the
That
meat.
was awful. Your beard is really white trashy, but I love you.
Hashtag Punkcast.
I gotta get ready to go back to Alabama.